Expect to see sunny skies with a high of 91. Coming up on OTB, presented by All-Star Toyota, LSU head football coach Ed Ogeron stops by at 7:30, and Nick Underhill stops by to talk Saints at 9 o'clock. We also have our OTB mailbag today, so get your questions in, tweet them, ask them in the YouTube chat using the hashtag OTB mailbag, and we'll get them answered at 8:15. Follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, or by subscribing to our YouTube for new content every day. Hour number 1 of OTB from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio starts now.
Let we go.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome in Tuesday edition of OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Mario, and Danny hanging out with you today. It is 7 a.m. Danny told me I looked tired 5 minutes before he went on air.
He did.
Just a little subtle shot. I see you, Danny. That's where your good directorial instincts are coming in. You're trying to light a fire under my ass. It's good. It's good coaching. I saw a lot of good coaching yesterday on the practice field. It was for the first time since I got done playing football now 11 years ago. It's 10 years ago. It's kind of depressing. I got to watch an entire football practice at LSU, and it was fascinating, and I will give you that boots on the ground perspective coming up at 7:15. We got a big-time show for you planned today. Obviously, though, we got Coach. It's Tuesday, so we got Coach O at 7:30. We got Nick Underhill at 9 a.m. today, kicking off camp because he has to head over to Saints practice. And then we are going to talk to Dr. Sean Bradley about the latest batch of bad Saints news. I mean, I love our guys at Oshern. They keep getting run because bad Saints news just keeps cropping up. It's Will Lutz this time. You'll get it during headlines. Jake, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Feeling good. I had a chance to go out to practice for a little bit. Got to see you. Then I got to mold some young minds at sixth grade practice. It was a little bit different, though. Looked a little bit different than the practice I left over at LSU.
You don't think y'all didn't carry the same intensity level? Dude, yeah. We'll get into it.
We were just trying to get, we were just trying to get lined up in doubles and trips, okay?
Yeah,
That's all we were trying to do.
There you go, dude. Yesterday was that was a banger. That was a grind of a practice. I mean, we're talking about closing in on 3 hours yesterday, and it ain't no low energy 3 hours. So we will we'll break it all down at 7:15. Right now, though, let's do what we do every day and dive into some headlines.
OTB headlines are brought to you by Barbecue Guys. Barbecue Guys, for those who are born to grill. Visit bbqguys.com to learn more.
Look at these papers. Nice job, Mario. Ready to go.
Good job, Bobo.
In New Orleans Saints news, as I alluded to, when it rains, it pours. Will Lutz has now suffered a not insignificant injury. Reportedly has a, quote, a core muscle injury that requires surgery to fix. According to our guy, Nick Underhill, the pessimistic timeline is about 12 weeks. Doing the math from today, and look, this is all, we're kind of range finding. Don't be married to these numbers. But again, it's just kind of how you can start to adjust your expectations. Doing the math from today, that would have him back for the Falcons game on November 7th, missing the first 7 games of the year. Not good. Especially not in a league like the NFL where, field goals are literally the difference between making the playoffs or not making the playoffs over the course of a season. You had an all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber kicker, and now you do not, at least for what looks like nearly half the season.
Does somebody have some voodoo dolls against the Saints that we don't know about? Do we need to wrap everyone in plastic and bubble wrap?
The success of the past 15 years was so wildly unprecedented in Saints history. Maybe there was some sort of deal with the devil struck. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe somebody with better experience with Marie Laveau would know. I do not, unfortunately.
This is a big. This is someone that not only, and I know he struggled a little bit last year, but this is someone who's one of the better at his position in the league. It's not just a kicker. It's one of the most consistent ones over the last 5 years. And now you're talking about having to keep him on the roster because you're not going to release him or anything, and you have to get another kicker, so you got to carry
Maybe they're feeling a bit more optimistic than the 12-week timeline if they're not putting him on the PUP list or whatever. Because there's one list that you go on that you return after 6 weeks, right? So let's see how it's progressing, and then potentially they can free up a roster spot there. But you are right. Right now, they're carrying 2 kickers after the signing of Brett Maher. Is a guy who has not appeared in NFL games since 18-19.
18-19?
Yeah,
Holy hell.
That sounds funny read out loud, doesn't it? 2018, 2019.
Whoa.
So 3 years now.
An old son of a gun.
He was the first kicker in NFL history to make 3 field goals over 60 yards, so he's got a big leg, but 74%.
But, I mean,
kicker.
18-19, that leg's probably gone down a little bit.
That's fair. That's fair. He's 100 years
The
later.
power just
100
not
years
there.
later, his knees are finally starting to give. So not good on the kicking front. In Tamus watch, day 10, Jameis Winston had a great day in the red zone. Quote from Underhill. Now, Jameis now has what might be the 3 best performances of training camp by any Saints quarterback. Close quote. Portly threw 3 touchdowns to the red zone period. Deontay Harris, Jawan Johnson, Marcus Callaway. While Taysom had a bit of a rough day, didn't complete a lot of passes, had a deep ball kind of flutter and die in the air only to be picked. So one of the now Taysom won it a couple days ago, so it's like one of the biggest difference in a single day. But overall, Jameis maybe with just a slight lead over Taysom Hill.
I wonder if this continues, right? If this trend continues of Jameis having the better days, when do they start to say, okay, hey, 10% more of the plays going towards Jameis. Hey, hey Taysom, hey, come run that jet sweep or come run whatever. Like real quick, just come here real quick. Let's practice that in the red zone.
You know who they're kind of high on, and I feel like it's going to be kind of akin to how we talk about Garrett Nussmeier. It's not that they're going to play, but they like what Ian Book's doing.
Yeah.
So far, they're saying he's a gamer, and I mean, won a lot of games at Notre Dame. You now put him with the coach like Sean Payton, that sort of offensive mind. It's like maybe he has more potential than you realize.
I don't hate on Ian Book's game. I think he's got a skill set that is a gunslinger. He's a gamer, all those things that you said. When he came into that bowl game against LSU, that team went up like 10 notches. Like their level of play, the energy level, everything.
How long has he been in college? That was right. That was
he
was
played
him,
with the kicker back in 18-19, apparently,
oh
I think.
God, dude. That was his freshman year.
Yeah.
In LSU basketball news, a gaggle of Tigers saw action in the Summer League yesterday. Skylar Mays in his debut for the Hawks drops 14 points in 30 minutes. Antonio Blakeney was really, no exaggeration, the story of Summer League yesterday as he drops 27 in just 18 minutes for the Blazers. He was joined by Trenton Watford in Portland, who went for 4 points, 4 boards, assist and a steal. Javonte Smart had 11 points and 4 boards for the Heat. Emmett Williams is on OKC but did not play today. You'll be able to watch Cam Thomas make his debut with the Brooklyn Nets, and Jarrell Martin set to play as today as well. Yeah, how about that?
There's a blast in the past.
Yeah, there's a name I have not thought about in quite some time. Mario, I know you're feeling excited. Pelican Summer League. I don't want to say they look like a 50-win team, but they don't not look like a 50-win team as Trey Murphy, the 17th overall pick, completely balls out. 26 points, 9 boards. He hit 6 threes. He had some dunks mixed in there as well. Mario, how you feeling?
Well, as you said, it's just Summer League, so I won't get too excited, but it's been kind of a rough offseason for the Pelicans, them being not too active in free agency and whatnot, so it's good to see the young talent look good, especially Trey Murphy. I mean, we knew about his shooting, but we're looking really good in the open court, defended really well, looks like he has a high basketball IQ, which is what David Griffin was looking for, so encouraging performance from him, from Najee Marshall, and from a couple other young Pelicans.
Yeah, Najee Marshall drops 18, and it's just spurred me to start to give Trey Murphy a little more respect and start to read his story a little more. It's pretty interesting. One of those late bloomers, kind of had to grind his way up. He was 6'4" when he left for college, 6'9" when he left college.
That didn't happen to me.
I know.
Weird.
I know, dude. What the hell,
I was 5'10" at 13, and it stopped there.
But yeah, Trey Murphy, man, the shot was there. Some of the defense he picked up at Virginia was there. Nice job by the Pellies. They win 94.
That's one thing that
77.
you will. If you play for Virginia, you better be able to play some defense.
Yeah, and people
they're built all around that.
And in case you think like, wait, T-Bob, he went to Virginia, like he was always good there. No, he went to Rice, and then he transferred to Virginia when he grew 5 inches. They're like, okay, yeah, you can definitely come play here now. But yeah, he does talk about that. That's really where the focus was with the Cavs and Tony Bennett, obviously. And finally, in a little bit of NBA contract news, Luka Doncic. Shout out UJ Parker. Look, we're putting Luka in the headlines. Luka got paid, which is the least surprising thing I've probably ever said on the radio, as he agreed to a 5-year, $207 million rookie super max extension with the Dallas Mavericks. And why not? You know, only 4 players have made multiple All-NBA teams before they turn 23. KD and Doncic, the only ones to do it since the NBA-ABA merger. So not Jordan, not LeBron, not IL. I mean, Luka's a beast.
So him and Trae Young are going to be tied together just forever.
Yeah, because
draft night trade, right? Next 5 years, you get to pick one.
It's so sad. I guess I'm just such a sucker for size and numbers, because even though Trae Young had the Hawks on the edge of a finals even this last year, I would still go Doncic.
Mario?
I'd go Luka as well. He's just a better all-around player, but Trae Young's really good.
Yeah. Danny?
I'm going Luka.
Okay.
There you go, dude.
All right.
What about you?
I think I'm going Trae Young.
Okay.
I think I'm going Trae. I mean, both fantastic players, both going to play a long time in the NBA for as long as they want. But in today's NBA,
Yeah,
with Trae's skill set, and to get the Hawks to where he got them to this year, he raises everyone around him their level of play.
That was his first postseason, too. That's incredible to do that in your very first playoffs. It reminded me a lot of Chris Paul in 2008.
And they had some good players. I'm not taking away from the players on their roster, but he elevated all of them.
Yeah, Bogdanovich, they got a nice roster as well, but you're right. I mean, and it's one of those things where, like I said, my brain could be lagging behind what the actual meta is. I mean, Steph Curry showed what you can do undersized in terms of being the engine of a team. It doesn't always matter that much. So that'll be fun.
Again, if either one of them wants to come to the Pelicans ever, though, come on.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those rare situations where both sides are happy.
Exactly,
Dallas is not upset they don't have Trae Young, and the Hawks are not upset they don't have Luka Doncic. Everybody wins.
You know who's not happy? Sacramento, because they drafted Marvin Bagley before both of those guys.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, man, the Kings are the worst franchise
really
in NBA
are.
history.
They had that
They
one
probably
run when
are,
they had
yeah.
C-Webb and Peja and Doug Christie and Jason Williams.
Bro, I know
And
you're not
Vlade
leaving.
Divac.
How are you leaving Mike Bibby off?
Because Williams and Bibby got traded for each other. So depending on which side, do you want to go Jason Williams, White Chocolate, or do you want to go Bibby? Because they got traded for each other.
Oh, they weren't on the team at the same time?
No,
In
they
my
weren't.
memory,
They got traded
always
for
were.
each other.
Well, I mean, I have Jason
I mean,
Williams
either one,
socks.
look. Either one. I mean, take either squad. That's the only run that they had. And then Big Game Bob hit that 3 for the Lakers and shut them down.
I have a pair of Sacramento Kings stance socks that have Vlade on one leg and White
Haydu
Chocolate on the
Turkoglu
other.
was on that squad
Yep.
as well.
That's
Yep.
Young Hito.
Yep.
Mhm.
God, who am I missing?
But Mike Bibby made them a
Scott
better
Pollard.
team.
Scott Pollard.
Yeah, the Samurai
Legend.
top knot.
Yeah.
Peja.
I said Page. That's,
Oh, you did?
that's my guy.
Okay.
Mike Bibby made them a better team than White Chocolate, unfortunately.
Better team, not as fun to watch.
Yes.
Should have went to the finals in 02.
They did. The referee literally went to jail, T-Bob, and there was like 7 blown calls in that series that everybody talks about.
Yeah, it's like a butterfly effect thing, though. If you don't blow the call, it's no guarantee that the Kings will automatically win because you don't know how the Lakers respond to a different situation.
I think
et
it was.
cetera, et cetera.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was like last second, like foul call on Kobe or something. Maybe I'm not sure.
I did not expect to litigate the Kings Lakers of 02, but here we are.
Hey, that's why Danny bringing the content.
Coming up next,
And Mario,
let's
Bagley.
dive into the little practice report, as I was out there all 3 hours yesterday, and I got a ton of thoughts on LSU football. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
If you were born to grill, you have to go to Barbecue Guys for all your grilling and outdoor living needs. With the largest selection of top grills and outdoor products and best-in-class customer service, Barbecue Guys has it all. Visit bbqguys.com. That's bbqguys.com. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Feeling a little tense? Neck a little sore? Maybe you got some knots in your body? Well, why don't you go to the relaxationcompany.org and book a time at the Relaxation Company out there at Pelican Point in Gonzales right now. Do it now. Don't think twice. If you're on your computer, go ahead and do it, okay? It's the best deals. with a massive amount of services. It's not just massages, though. That's probably my favorite part of the equation. They offer cryotherapy, hot stone. Go to the relaxationcompany.org and you'll see just how deep that list goes.
You can also hit them up on Instagram. TRC Massage is the handle because they always add specials or whatever they've got going on. Like we found out they have their relaxation company at City Square coming very soon. I'm telling you, man, they've got back to school specials. They've got free gift with your purchase. All kind of things going on. Check it out on Instagram and the relaxationcompany.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Coming up on a Tuesday edition of Early Line with Mario and Musso, we talk Heisman odds, look at some fantasy football storylines, and a whole lot more. Join us 2 to 3 p.m. for Early Line right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back to OTB. Right now, it is finally time. I've been putting in my notes. We're going to compare and contrast some of the strengths and weaknesses of The Last Jedi as it pertains to Rise of Skywalker. Should they do a retcon for the sequels? I'm pretty vehement that they should not. But don't worry, we're going to spend the next 15 to 20 minutes for Coach O talking about this. Jake, early thoughts on The Last Jedi? Just some kind of paraphrase how you felt about the movie?
The Last Jedi would be the first Jedi that I've seen. So.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means, but that's fine. We're here to talk about LSU football camp. Spent 3 hours there yesterday. It was awesome. I got to start here. I got to start here. So this was the first practice. As I said, this was the first practice, the first full practice, beginning to end, that I've been to since a practice that I would have been involved in, right? Now, NFL, sure, I've seen those, but I'm talking about an LSU football practice. I have not seen one full length since I played. And it is so I think because of that, it is impossible for me not to compare it to practices that I experienced under Les Miles, right? And the differences in the practices are stark. I mean, it is in the extreme. I'm talking about the intensity, the efficiency, the level of energy. It was relentless yesterday. There was no, and look, it was a long practice, about 2.5 hours. And that's one of the longer ones that O and LSU will do during the season. You know, they're very short, hour and a half, sometimes even less than an hour on like Mondays and whatnot. They believe in resting to get ready for the weekend, but this ain't rest time. This is make you uncomfortable time. It was a long one, and I used the word relentless because, Jake, there was constant motion. I mean, no standing around, constant competition, constant manufacturing of energy, like requiring the offense to be clapping the entire time when they're on the side. I mean, coaches yapping at each other, constant ones on ones and twos on twos. Not a lot of scout team in the mix. Almost every single rep, legitimate on legitimate.
Scout team was just at the beginning kind of walkthrough period.
Yeah,
right?
And it wasn't even like a true defensive scout team. It was just offensive backups in a jersey, which is like a very light sort of scout team. So no, and actually moving the ball, right? You had your situation like your third down, but then you also had just straight up drives, which sounds really dumb now that you think about it. Why was that not a thing ever? Why did you never just practice the game of football where you actually spot the ball and get first down and get the third down and practice calling plays and so there were actual drives. And so just in terms of the structure of practice, it was really fascinating and very impressive in my opinion. Now it's probably not that exciting though because it's been like that for a few years, right? That's how they've been doing things. I would say that I spent most of my time watching the offensive line, Jake, and so that's kind of the lens that a lot of these takes are going to be built around. I would start here. The bottom line, if the offensive line can protect the quarterback, you're going to score a lot of points. The quarterbacks look fantastic. The skill positions are very talented. Ton of competition at wide receiver. Kayshon Boutte is the number on question number one. After that, though, is there's a lot of options and a lot of different guys caught balls yesterday. Tell me if you agree with this. Starting with the quarterbacks, obviously Max Johnson, obviously the starter.
Yep.
He's got this kind of stoic, kind of alpha demeanor, a little bit about him. But Nussmeier can ball. I mean, Nussmeier, he's not going to challenge for a starting job. He's too raw, too wild. But that kid does not lack in confidence. He is oozing swagger. And you could see it in the fit. He had the purple tights, untucked T-shirt, exposed back flap with the jersey put up, wristbands on. And he was fun to watch. Everybody's calling him Baby Baker, and I see why. He's all over the place. He's fun to watch. So I came away not just feeling very good about the starting quarterback play, but actually like, okay, it's never going to be ideal, but if nothing else, Nussmeier will not be scared of the moment if he ever had to play.
And I think that's the big point, right? You don't want a true freshman to play. That's not what you want. LSU had to play 2 true freshmen last year. Now, they held their own in moments for sure. You don't want to have to play a true freshman. But this guy, if you had to say, hey, true freshman, you're in the game because Max, something happened there, his mentality is not going to be one where he's terrified to go in. Yeah. I mean, he is ready to play right now. T-Bob's exactly right. You spend 3 minutes around this young man, and you know that no moment, no stage is going to be too big for him. Now, that might mean 7 exciting plays and 3 bad ones. That might be what you have to take with him. As we saw in the spring game, there was like some really nice moments, and there were some moments he threw into some coverages he should not have. Okay, so your hope is that he grows from that.
Yeah.
But mentality-wise, you don't want to take any of that away from him.
Yeah, and it just it's funny because it also reinforces the old idea that there's no one way to skin a cat, right? Like Max Johnson and TJ Finley even last year were not afraid to play as true freshmen, but their demeanor is different. All right, Max was that more, like I said, I get more of a stoic feeling. Nussmeier gives this kind of wild, raw energy off in a way. But again, Johnson, unquestionably, the starter, looked really good. The dude's tall. He's a tall boy.
Yeah,
I mean, he is every bit of 6'5".
Yeah, you were trying to take some inches off of him yesterday.
I just didn't. It didn't.
Yesterday, we were talking about?
We talked about his size yesterday. He just didn't look as tall on the field last year. I don't know if he grew or whatever, or maybe he did, maybe he didn't, right? But he is every bit of 6'5", I think.
Did you see any of his emotions kind of come out during practice? Because I saw some on, I think it was Saturday's practice that I went out to. I had not really seen any emotions from him. Everything it's kind of been like, even if it was a 60-yard touchdown, it's like, all right, I'm running, I'm going to dap everybody up and go back to the sideline. He hit Kayshawn on a long one on Saturday, and he kind of hit the side of his helmet like this and was letting the defense know.
Yes, there was. So the defense dominated the practice early on, D-line kicking ass, and then they got to the end of the practice team drills where they're doing drives, and the offense just completely took over, running the ball, throwing the ball. And one of the ones-on-ones drive ended with Johnson on a zone read, high stepping into the end zone. So yeah, you saw a little bit of that competitive drive for sure. Okay, I would say this about the defensive line: they look very impressive physically. Okay, I still hesitate hyping them up too much, but in terms of just the eye test and how an LSU defensive line should look, I feel like they have finally regained what it used to look like in the golden days of the LSU defensive line. Our day, your days, my days. I mean, they look massive and they look deep. Mason Smith is a monster. That guy is so big. There is no way he is 18 years old or 19 or whatever he is. It is wild how impressive physically Mason Smith look. And look, he's rotating with the ones. I mean, he's already challenged for starting time. Quaylen Roy looked very big. He's strong. Jacoby and Guillory. Ojulari looked thicker.
He did.
Neil Farrell was excellent in 9-on-7 in inside run drill. I think the best in the group, though, was Andre Anthony.
Okay, Dre?
It's making sense. He's coming into his own physically, and I think he's about 25 now, right? And during one-on-one pass rush, he was nearly unblockable. He's got this leadership about him. You can tell he carries himself with the comfortability, as one should when you've been in the system this long, right? Like, there is nothing that you're going to say or do to him that is going to kind of flap him. And he has a very clear vision of what he thinks this D-line can be and his role in being the leader of that D-line. So I got very excited about what I saw out of Andre Anthony.
No, I agree with you. I've spent some time with him. We've done a couple of camps together, and he wants to be in that leadership role.
Yeah.
And I said it yesterday. Like, anytime there's anything that's going on with the program, it's like Andre Anthony's the guy that everybody talks to, and he kind of gets everybody together. And on the field, he's raised his level of play as well. And you're right. Look, he's a mature guy. He's 25 years old. Like, he signed back a long time ago.
And apparently, in the weight room, he's killing it right now. Like, maybe challenging for strongest on the team. So.
And they need somebody at that position to kind of solidify to be the guy that doesn't come off the field, because BJ, and it looks like he has gained some weight. I'd say 10, 15 pounds even. I mean, he looks really good.
Yeah, he looks thick.
He is someone that's probably going to be, your rusher, right? He's going to come in on certain downs. Andre Anthony's probably going to be the guy that doesn't come off the field. So they needed somebody to stabilize that position.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. So it definitely like just watching practice. I was starting to get the feeling, okay, Neil Farrell's going to be on the interior in your first and second down. But then during pass rush 2-on-2s, they were doing some interesting things where Anthony lined up as a 3-tech over the guard, Ojulari on the edge. So maybe you get a little, maybe get some games on third down with Anthony there.
If you want to know exactly how long Andre Anthony has been at LSU, a couple of people in his signing class: Lloyd Cushenberry,
wow,
Greedy Williams, Devin White,
damn,
Glenn Logan's in that same class. How about that? You've got Divinity, been gone a little bit. Savion Smith, Rashard Lawrence, Christian Fulton. You've been here a minute.
Yeah, I mean, like all those guys are in the league now. It's wild. Which maybe speaks well to Anthony, right? That he's still going to be on the college level. Okay, I want to go to break because we got to get to O, and I want to give him time as well. I know I didn't get to the offensive line, but as you can tell, I've got a ton of thoughts. So we'll continue to pepper them throughout today's show. Keep it locked here on OTB. Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. Go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org. 925-8552 is the number, 925-8552. Any plumbing issues that you have, you want to go to Central Plumbing. And it's not just residential. If you're a business owner listening, or you have an office building and you need all of your plumbing needs met for the whole building, they have the insurance, paperwork, and personnel to do so, okay? Also, look, I don't care, old house, new house, whatever. The bottom line, y'all, they've been at it for nearly 50 years. They've seen it all over those 5 decades, and that means that they can fix it all as well.
Something I tell you about all the time is their tankless water heaters, right? They can come in and they can install those. Why is that important? Well, if you have children and you've got a late night at the ball field, right? You're trying to come home, you're trying to wash dishes, wash clothes, and get the kids bathed for bed. Well, you can't do all those at the same time with an old school water heater. You can do it with a tankless. You don't run out of hot water. It saves us. It can save you as well. They can install that. Go ahead, go to centralplumbing.org for more information.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Tigers back on the practice field. Zach Von Rosenberg has your practice report, and we'll pop down to Metairie for a Saints camp report. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. T-Bob, Jake Mara, Danny hanging out with you today, and it is 7:30 on Tuesday, which means we got to go to our main man, Coach O, LSU head football coach. Remember, he invited on air last week all former LSU players to come out to practice, meaning we got to go check it out. Coach, thank you very much. That was a great time yesterday. That was an intense practice yesterday, Coach. Y'all challenged the boys yesterday.
No question. Our guys have answered the challenge. I think our coaches have done a great job of preparing our players. Our guys have come out with a tremendous mindset. They're in great condition. They're working hard. Very pleased with the total mindset of our team right now.
And so, Coach, obviously, I'm mainly watching the offensive and defensive line, right? That's just part of the game that excites me the most. And it was a battle yesterday. The defense winning early on, the offense winning late. Has it been like that for most of camp thus far?
Yeah, you gotta give it to Coach Davis and Andre and the line coaches, man. They've been battling all camp. They're very competitive. They bring the juices. And it's been a seesaw battle back and forth. We got a very experienced offensive line, very experienced defensive line, but we also got some young guys, as you saw yesterday, that are coming. And they're showing that we build a depth along the offensive defensive line, which we're going to need to do.
Coach, one guy that I just talked about that I thought really flashed, especially during one-on-ones, but it's not just the play. It's also the leadership, was Andre Anthony. He feels like the leader of that very deep defensive line. And he feels like someone who he's in terms of where his focus is physically and mentally, he's ready to have a big year.
Yeah, he worked very hard. He stayed healthy. He knows his stuff. Coach Andre Cordo's done a great job with him. He's back in a three-point stance where he played a 3-4 sometime before 3. Now he's in a three-point stance, rushing up the field. He seems like he's having a really good camp.
Coach, you would talk about this young group of receivers when you would come on in the offseason, and you can see it from the moment you go out there. I mean, these pass catchers, Hilton, Thomas, Besh, Neighbor, Smith, I mean, you can go down the list. Coach, that's a real competitive group that has got some juice to them.
Yeah, really, really pleased with those guys. And every one of them. Deion was fighting the injury. He's coming back. Brian Thomas, first day is beating some of our best players, making some plays down the field. Malik Neighbors is all over the place. Chris Hill, very athletic, and then we just pleased with the whole. This is playing tight end. We can move them out there along with Trey Palmer, Keyshawn Butte. Yep. Watch out for Corey Moore. Jerry Jenkins, Chantre Kirkland. And we can put out 10 receivers out there.
It's a deep group, and the quarterbacks were spreading it around yesterday. All those guys kind of flashed it one time or another. Coach, the quarterback room is interesting. Max, I thought, looked very solid yesterday, and I was impressed. He's still wild and raw, but I was impressed with what I saw out of Nussmeier.
Yeah, Gary got the juice now. He's got the net fight. Sort of, Max was serious. Max extends plays with his feet. He's doing a great job. You can see that, the loss of Miles, Max is stepping up. It was a competition before. Now, hey, this is my job. I'm the starting quarterback at LSU, and I'm going to act like it every day. And he's done that. I tell you, I'm very impressed with Garrett. Garrett is taking care of the football. He made some great plays, scrambled yesterday. But we've got to keep both of those guys healthy.
What's been the early returns on the new coordinators, Coach, on Peets and Jones, and how this camp's developing thus far?
Well, they haven't fought yet, so we'll see. We have a big scrimmage. Saturday's preseason game number 1. Today is still third down day. Tomorrow we'll have the players. We'll have the whole day off. We've got red zone and tight zone. Then we're going into the stadium on Saturday for our first scrimmage. So we'll see. But those guys are doing fantastic. They're tireless workers. They're doing a great job of implementing our offense. We're right on schedule right now.
Coach, if anybody was to fight anybody, I mean, Coach Brad Davis might be at the top of that list. That's an intense man right there.
Yeah, you know what? He's bringing it. He's bringing it every day. And he takes it to heart when his guys get beat, which is good. It's a sign of a good line coach. The guys have taken on his personality. Yesterday on 907 was our most physical 907 we had. I thought the offensive line improved on their physicality. We still have a ways to go, but those guys are battling every day, and I think that they end up being a very physical group.
Coach, somebody that doesn't take very long when you go out there to find is Major Burns. He has been vocal. He's kind of been all over the place in the couple of practices that I've been to, and I know he is from the area, but it looks like coming in from Georgia, he has really just identified with this group, and the chemistry was there from day one. And seems like he's someone that can be a leader on the field.
No question. He's done it every day he's been here. He's done it in the workouts. Tommy Moffitt ran up, come see me one day or something, said, Coach, Major Burns may be a starter for us, the way he's acting down there. And, he sure is playing like, today in space, that safety has to make plays in space. And, a lot of times he's the last line of defense, and if he doesn't, it's a touchdown. And he's made 2 or 3 game-saving tackles already in practice. He's smart. He knows he's coming in there. He's competing, and that turns into a very competitive room now with Todd Harris, Jay Ward, Jordan Toles, Derek Davis, Sage Wine, which is good. We're going to need all of them.
Talking to LSU head football coach Ed Orgeron here on Off the Bench. Coach, you mentioned a couple of maybe touchdown-saving tackles. A couple of guys that those tackles could have been made against would have been those young running backs. I thought that the young running backs have really acquitted themselves well here early on into their first ever camp.
Yeah, they're looking good. Armani and Corey is everything we thought about. And, they get a lot of first-team reps. Ty Davis is out a little bit for just a regular calf injury. John Emery was finishing up some school yesterday. I want to say this. I'm very proud of our players in summer school. We had some guys that had some work to do, but right now everything's looking very positive. We're going to have a final report on Thursday, but it's looking very positive. And John Emery was one of the guys that I'm very proud of his work in the classroom this summer.
Coach, you talked about the tight ends a little bit when we were talking about Jack Besh. Obviously, him and Cole Taylor are getting a lot of the reps there. How's that position group? And I know the unfortunate news on Nick Storrs having to kind of shut down his career because of injuries. You got 2 guys there kind of going back and forth, different players. I'm sure you can put them in different roles, and they've been working.
Yeah, looking good. The more we get Cole Taylor involved in inside runs, and the more he gets the physicality of the game, the better off we're going to be. Jack Mashburn, a walk-on from St. Paul's, is a watch for him. He's going to play. Okay. And possibly earn himself a scholarship and be a scholarship player at LSU. He's a great young man. I think he's going to Tigers.
Coach, when you were on here last week, you extended an invitation to former players to want to come out to practice. That's something that you feel passionately about.
Yeah, I think it's important. I want our guys to come in. I want them to see what we're doing. I want them to sit in the meetings, talk to our players, be mentors to our players. Come see our new coaches. A lot of our coaches haven't met these guys. It's our family. You know how it is in camp, man. You want to see your family. We're tired of looking at each other already. I tell you, it seems like we've been 2 weeks, but it's only been 3 days. But I want our guys to come. It gives our players some juice. I love having them around. It gets them involved, and it's good for everybody. And again, congratulations to Alan Faneca. What a great job he did at the Hall of Fame. And I showed the presentation to the players yesterday. What a great speech he had. Very intelligent. I think it was very good for all of our players to see.
Hey, Coach, I've got to tell on you. I was out at Saturday's practice, and I was kind of wandering around seeing which group to watch. And Coach O was telling me, hey, there's not a fullback group anymore, Jake. You're going to have to go find another group to watch. Coach, I was looking for those fullbacks. I couldn't find them. Coach Robinson finally came over. He's like, hey, just come watch running backs with me.
Let me say something. Hey, you build our team, we find a place for you to play, big man, I promise.
Coach, speaking of finding a place to play, one of the guys that seems to be just carving out a niche for himself is linebacker Jared Small. But take me to the linebacker group as a whole, because that's one of the groups that I had real questions about coming into camp. And it sounds like they've responded very well to Coach Baker thus far.
Very impressive. The first thing I'm impressed with their condition is we haven't had a linebacker miss a practice yet for anything. Damone Clark's doing a great job, but Jared Small is just time, man. He's all over the field. Bugs Strong had a big hit.
Oh, he did.
like light somebody up. He has come in great condition. Mike Jones is still learning the inside linebacker position. Micah Basterfield is ready to go. Josh White is competing. Greg Penn. So we're very deep in that position. Blake has done a great job there.
Coach, what's on the docket over the next couple of days?
Yeah, get ready for preseason game number 1. Today's another third down day, a big day. Tomorrow the players have the day off, much needed. Thursday's red zone, Friday's tight zone, and then Saturday's our first scrimmage. So we're taking it one day. I told our guys we're focusing on camp, LSU Tigers, improve daily, and then our big preseason game number 1 on Saturday. That's all we're looking forward to.
Coach, one thing that I was impressed with yesterday is, I'm wondering, is this just a function of like this part of the schedule? There were a lot of 1s-on-1s and 2s-on-2s, right? Wasn't barely any scout team in the mix. Y'all went good on good basically all day.
Iron sharpens iron. We don't go scout team unless we assimilate somebody else's offensive defense, and that won't come to the game week. Iron sharpens iron, we're whole camp.
There you go. Coach Ed Ogeron, LSU head football coach. Thank you so much for waking up with us every Tuesday, Coach.
Always. Thank you. Go Tigers.
Yes, sir.
You don't think Coach O's been up?
The grind continues. The grind. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I see, because I said waking up. Yeah. That's a good call. No, he gets up there at like 5:30.
I'm just waiting for Coach to be like,
right,
waking up. What?
Yeah, exactly.
Been up for 3 hours.
They're grinding, dude. I don't know how Tommy Moffitt still does it.
Can I
He's
say
still on
though?
the sideline? Strike!
Yeah, I know.
Strike! It's like every day, bro. You've been at this thing for like
30 years.
Yeah, you've been at LSU for 21 years, and you're still on a random camp practice. Strike! Pad level! Like, good God, man.
It's I can see him doing it. But it's a grind, but it's not. Don't take it as we're saying grinding them into the ground. It's more energy. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, hey, we're just going to keep beating each other up. It is like you said, everybody's clapping around. Everybody's not letting the thing kind of get too low energy. Everyone's like, hey, get to where you're supposed to get. But it's not one of those practices like we've seen in the past where you're just striking each other over and over again. You're doing stuff, repeat the play. It's not not any of that. It's efficient, but it's energy more than it's like grinding them into the ground.
And also, remember, we've firmly established this with our Jack Marucci interviews. This is a regime that trusts in science. Nothing is by accident. Nothing is impulsive. You do a 2.5-hour practice because you want to challenge the boys, right? You're not doing it because you're just like out of nowhere, like, oh, I just want to go hard today. No, this is all a part of the plan. You got to go hard now, and as the game gets closer, you start to rest up, get people in prime condition. You'll see it. All right, going to close out hour number 1 with a quick segment, and then when we get back in hour 2, I mean, look, I still got more to talk about for practice if y'all want. We still got OTB mailbag coming up. Dr. Sean Bradley talking Will Lutz injury. So keep it locked here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Central All-Star Toyota. Go to All-Star
both.
Toyota. Yeah, you should. You should. Central Plumb for the pipes. All-Star Toyota for any vehicle needs.
Like a
Whether
tailpipe.
you're looking to, like a tailpipe. Exactly. Yeah. In fact, I do love the service over there at All-Star Toyota. If you buy from them, right? I mean, then my cars literally tell me now, like, hey, take me in a dealership. And then the warranty covers it. And so it's awesome. And then I get there and I drop the car off, and my guy Isaiah shuttles me back home, and they send me text updates, and then I can call Isaiah at the end of the day whenever I want. I'm like, hey, could you come pick me up? And he does. And that's not just me. That's anybody that's in the All-Star family. So join the All-Star family. We're going to see him off of Airline Highway today.
That's a great service that you're going to get from All-Star. Another great thing you're going to get is great prices on rentals. So if you need one for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, maybe it's a week-long vacation, we can promise you these are going to be the most competitive prices out there. If you need something larger, you need something smaller, whatever it is, multiple vehicles, different prices per day. Check it out, allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, They have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Coming up on a Tuesday edition of Early Line with Mario and Musso, we talk Heisman odds, look at some fantasy football storylines, and a whole lot more. Join us 2 to 3 p.m. for Early Line right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What up, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. Okay, again, so we went through all the stats yesterday, right? Sometimes we want to let it breathe in the middle. We end up a bit short here at the end, so I apologize for that. But we got way more LSU camp coming up. You got a lot of great questions coming in the chat. I'm logging them all for OTB mailbag, so keep putting them in there.
I want to get your thoughts when we come back in hour number 2 about Brad Davis, the new offensive line coach. Like I talked about with like Major Burns as a player, like you know where he's at when you walk out on the field. You know where Brad Davis is at as well.
Yeah, he is definitely a taskmaster, right? He does not let these guys can't go half-stepping.
9 on 7 on Saturday. You weren't even in pads yet, and he was letting them know what he expected from 9 on 7.
He's in them. I got and this may not be wholly accurate, it's just where my brain goes, but almost a drill instructor type of vibe in that within this one practice, I saw him be highly, highly critical, right, and break them down. But then I also saw a really nice moment where when it was just the O-line and him and they're talking, he gave this little speech for one of the big team drills where he's kind of building him back up. So very, very military almost.
You have to be that way, approach. Right? You can't be the guy that's just constant, just dragging them down. Like there's a purpose for dragging your players like that.
Yeah.
If you lift them back up and let them know you're there with them.
So I have thoughts. And we'll get to those next hour.
T-Bob's thoughts. I feel like that's a segment we could have with like some real,
I mean, if you're
dramatic music,
go
maybe
my
playing,
real thoughts, dude.
Like,
you're going to go with some non-football related thoughts.
No, football related. Football related. Let's keep this football related.
Hour 2 next here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to RejuveMeMedical.com, RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. Look, they got locations: Denham Springs, Metairie, Baton Rouge. They are your anti-aging clinic. So if you are, just look, man, you don't have the energy rolling out of bed you used to. Just don't feel confident. Don't feel right mentally. Starting to lose some body fat that's popping up out of nowhere, right? Rejuve Me can help solve all of these issues, but it's not just with a one-size-fits-all plan. It's with a plan that is customized for you.
Yeah, you might be waking up and for some reason you just don't feel like yourself. Maybe you're just in a bad mood. Maybe things that are getting on your nerves, you can't explain it. Well, they can help you, right? They can take your blood and they can find a way and then get a path started for you that you feel like your youthful self, like you've got that energy that you've always had. But you got to go do it, right? You got to have that consultation. RejuveMeMedical.com, right there on the homepage. You can schedule it, or 225-230-4201.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Middle Relief, and after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning, everybody. It's 8 a.m. on Tuesday, August 10th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see sunny skies with a high of 91. In case you missed hour one of the show, you can now catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Still to come, Dr. Sean Bradley joins the show at 8:30 to discuss Will Lutz's injury, and Nick Underhill joins the show at 9 a.m. to talk Saints. We also have our OTB mailbag today, so get your questions in, tweet them, or ask them in the YouTube chat using the hashtag OTB mailbag, and we'll get them answered at 8:15. Follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, or by subscribing to our YouTube for new content every day. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
What up, y'all? What's going on? Hour number 2 here on OTB. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. That's great. That helps us a lot with YouTube. If you're watching on CST, shout out. Tell your friends about it where they can watch. We're having a great time today, talking a lot of football. I can feel for the first time. And look, and maybe I should preface like everything I'm saying with this is that maybe part of the reason why I'm just so over exuberant today and potentially overly optimistic and overly positive is that it was just really fun watching football again yesterday. In legitimate big time football where guys were battling. It was back and forth. I always like to see that during camp. Yeah. I get a little worried if just one side is consistently whooping the other side's butt. So seeing that kind of seesaw affair yesterday, I think normally that's a sign of a good team. But who knows? Maybe I'm overrating this all. I don't know, Jake. Sometimes I just get so I just feel so like you can feel it in my voice. I keep stuttering. I'm just like so energetic and so invigorated by all of this that
you were.
Am I being crazy? Am I being too optimistic here?
No, you
were.
Am
I pumping too much sunshine? I think I could be.
I called T-Bob last night around 6:15.
Yeah.
We were leaving the 6th grade practice, and I was like, trying to see, hey, how did everything go? How was practice? Because I had to leave a little bit earlier, and I could hear it in your voice. I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I could hear it in your voice. Like you were like, "This is awesome.
I feel
I'm ready to go." So yeah, no, it's good to go out there and feel good about it because we've in the last decade plus, like doing this job, like we've all gone out to practice and like, oh boy.
Yes, that is true, and that has been feeling the time. I've never been to a full practice, but I have gotten extended looks over the years.
I mean, I have
certain times.
And there's been positions. I think for me, the thing that's the most exciting, and it's because, last year you got an extra year for a lot of guys. So you have this mixture of older vets like Andre Anthony, Neil Farrell, like you've talked about, Glenn Logan, and Deculus that you typically just would not have. They wouldn't be here. Yeah. They wouldn't be on the roster. We talked about they signed like way back in the day. Okay, but because of COVID and getting an extra year, they're here. And then you mix that in with guys, just the receivers, like Hilton and Thomas and Besh and Neighbors and Smith, like all the combination of youth and experience. And it's going on other places, but LSU typically doesn't have this. LSU typically does not have this many guys coming back because they just get trashed by guys that are going to the draft early, right? I mean, the roster just gets decimated because of it. And look, you're a great program. Sometimes that's just going to happen. You have guys that leave early and get drafted, but because of all the factors that we've talked about, mixing the two groups together with the older vets and these young players, it makes for a very exciting football team that also has the leadership so they don't get too ahead of themselves as far as the young players.
Yeah, and the leadership was definitely on display yesterday. I mentioned Andre Anthony on the defensive side of the ball, definitely Austin Deculus as a counterpoint on the offensive side of the ball. And you can feel the relationship that a couple guys have in that line. Like, you can feel how close Deculus and Ingram are. They've been doing this thing together for a while, and even Shanahan. But like when the young guys are working reps, along with Brad Davis coaching them, Deculus is almost after every single play helping the young guys out and saying, "Well, this is what you did wrong. This is this." And anytime you mention Deculus, you get a lot of like people in chat like, "Hey, Sox, hey, Sox, hey, Sox." I mean, that's just ignorant. He's a good college football player. I mean, who knows how he projects on the NFL level? This is a big season for him in that regard. But he's a very good college tackle and has been for a while. You don't start 60-something games if you suck, which I think he will have played in over 60 games potentially by the end of this year, or maybe even high 50s. So I thought that he looked like a leader. You mentioned Brad Davis, and he was I didn't get to watch Craig super closely, right? Now, I don't want this to sound like Craig was not a get-in-your-face type of coach, because he was. I don't think it was as consistent or loud as Coach Davis, but he definitely was. I do think, though, it's very surface level, but in Coach Craig, you had someone who was in the NFL for over 10 years before he came back to LSU. I think that there is a vast difference in coaching NFL guys and coaching college guys,
without question,
and maybe not even as much the coaching of them as the development of them. In the NFL, these guys are already developed.
Right.
You take care of your business, right? You're maintaining, you're helping them. Like you're not literally teaching them the ways.
No.
In college, you are. And what's been one of the big questions with this young O-line group is there's been a lack of development, right? They didn't look like they were in great shape last season. They had an all right spring in some spots. I feel that the personality type of Davis may actually be better suited to bringing this young offensive line along, staying on him, being just not allowing them to get complacent, running everywhere, jogging everywhere, kind of hammering out through just sheer force of will, literally trying to hammer out any complacency that he's seen.
It's completely different, and it's a good observation because there's some guys that can do both, and they can go between college and pros, and they don't really miss a beat, and they have a unique coaching style that allows them to do that. But some of the techniques that you use in college just don't work on the professional level.
Yeah.
Like I've told the story, Randy McMichael tells it all the time. They were with the Dolphins, and Nick was doing Nick things, and yelling at him, and Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas kind of put their arm on and be like, that ends today, bud. Like that, there's no more of that. Okay, bud. Like it's nice. You can get on the young guys, but if you talk to me like that again, like that happens, right? So you have to, like when you're coming from the NFL, you try to come down to the college ranks. Like there is an adjustment because you're doing a different job. Like my running back coach in San Diego was one of the greatest men that I ever came across. I mean, he still checks on me. Like if there's a hurricane or a tornado in Louisiana, like he's, hey, are you good? Are you good? But that's what it is. It's more checking in on you. It's helping you with something that you're struggling with. If you don't understand the play, hey, let me help you.
Yeah.
Where college, it's completely different. They're coaching you every single second that you're in the building. And there is a difference between that. And you can tell that Brad Davis is a college coach.
Yes.
He's coming from a college program in Arkansas.
And it's not to say that this is like kind of like I don't want this to sound like we're speaking ill of the dead type of situation here, because I don't want some revisionist history where all of a sudden James Craig was a bad O-line coach. I mean,
I have a great relationship with Coach.
Yeah, and the players did too. And I'm sure they're still going through a bit of a tough adjustment, having their position coach lost midsummer and then having a new guy come in who's pretty intense. But I do think in the end it will bear dividends. And again, probably my favorite moment of practice with Davis specifically was the kind of speech that he was giving them to hype them up and kind of build them back up before they went out there and had a very good team period. So I came away impressed with Davis. Look, I still have, I think there are still questions on the offensive line, certainly. I think that in terms of the young guys that are stepping up, the two names to watch are Garrett Dellinger and Anthony Bradford. I think that Bradford probably has the potential to maybe be the best offensive lineman on the team. I think he's still battling a little bit of conditioning because he looked really, really strong at the beginning of practice. I mean, table-topping cats, maybe lost some steam near the end.
Yeah.
I was impressed with Dellinger being thrown into the fire and performing well. Look, I feel more confident in Charles Turner, the backup center, behind Liam Shanahan than you did last year, certainly. So I think that's a step in the right direction. But really, Dellinger and Bradford would be the young guys that I would highlight. And look, the tackles, It's like I said, can you be good enough? I don't know that either tackle is going to be elite, but if you can do enough and protect the quarterback, you have the skill positions down and good quarterback play where you will score a ton of points. And so I still have some question marks in that regard, but yesterday I liked some of the development that I saw, and I still do like the leadership of Dak Hills and just the overall experience of the group. It feels like a group that you're definitely not going to intimidate.
Which tackle did you notice in one-on-ones? Because if you have success in that drill, we've talked about it, you are set up for success.
Yeah, I thought that Deculus performed well in one-on-ones. I thought that Wire struggled a little bit
Yeah.
at times, which is, again, I mean, that's kind of how one-on-ones just go a lot of times. I mean, Bradford was at guard at one-on-ones, but he was just, like I said, he's so strong. Just table-topping guys.
Large body.
Yeah, if you don't try to spin on him or you will get dumped. And so I would say those are, it was a back and forth affair. I think the best overall performer in one-on-ones was Andre Anthony. And maybe I'm wrong there, but he just had some really impressive wins and against good guys, right? Against like the ones as well. So it's that would be my only hang up offensively is, and the consistency of the O-line. How consistent can they be? And then another positive I would say from yesterday is I thought that the young running backs, especially Armani Godwin, really had a nice day and jumped off the page.
He did on Saturday as well. Both of them did. They're going to count on those young running backs. In TDP, the Saturday practice, I told y'all yesterday, he had a hell of a practice. I mean, he had a 65-plus yarder. He did really nice an inside run. Sounds like he's got a little nick in camp. You know, and coach said like a little camp thing, so maybe a hammy, whatever it might be.
I love it. A little camp thing's like so painful for a player a lot of times. Like, it's just a little camp thing, dude. But you get it. It's the name of the game.
And with John finishing school, intercession, the whole deal, that's a spot where those young backs can take some playing time. If there's ever been a spot outside of special teams that you can from day one enter yourself in to the first team and not really miss a beat, it's running back.
Yep.
And especially in today's college football, there's no pass protection really that you have to worry about. You'll have it, but it's not like you're having this pro protection where you've got everybody outside of the mic and 4 down. No,
it was wide open yesterday.
It's free release. It's one look and go. So if you know the stuff like we talked about with Jake Peets, if you know the stuff like lining up in the slot and out wide, running the ball is running the ball. You're either born to do it or you can't do it.
Yeah.
Right? There's a reason the most athletic kid doesn't go to running back, right? It's a vision thing. It's a feel thing. It's all of those. So that's why you can play from day one if you have those skill sets. So those young running backs will absolutely get some run.
Yeah, so I think that would probably sum up my thoughts on yesterday's practice. I guess if we wanted to boil down just all the – I've done a lot of talking now, right? My brain feels like it's spinning out of control a little bit. But if I wanted to boil it all down, I think the bottom lines are I love the competitive tit for tat between the offense and the defense. I really like the depth and the size of the defensive line. And I believe that if the offensive line can consistently protect, they will against most, right? But if you consistently protect, you're going to have a ton of offensive success because you got a lot of talent at the skill position. That's how I would sum up the overall day. I feel good about the squad. I feel really good about what I saw yesterday.
All right, last question to you. How was the offensive protection in the team drill where you said the offense had success?
I mean, it was perfect then.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to make it sound like they dominated all day, though, because earlier the defense had a few sacks.
And what
right?
drills? Was it team pass?
It was team pass where they were not
threatened with the run.
Yes, that is. I mean, yes.
I mean, no. I mean, you have to understand the drills. And obviously you do, but
it's like inside run, right? I mean, it's real easy for a linebacker.
We were watching
inside
run on Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember the day. They weren't in pads yet, and the defense was winning the first couple of drills. And I forget who was standing by me, like, "Oh, D, all right, coming through in 9-7." I go, "I hope so." They know they're running the ball and there's no pads on.
Yeah.
I mean, so you have to understand the drill, just like 7-on-7. It's like if the offense dials it up in 7-on-7, it's like, okay, that doesn't really impress me.
I will say this though, is that there still is value there because yes, it is team pass, so the defense knows it's a pass. They don't have to respect the run. But, obvious passing downs, 3rd and 10 and stuff, you don't have to expect the run, right? Like, you're not playing the run on 3rd and 10. You're just getting after
a coordinator could call a screen, a draw, different things.
Certainly. But so I thought that the offensive line, like I said, they were getting
the worst thing.
On, but
worst thing they could have done was to give a show to 2 offensive guys.
And in the right now, I used to hate inside run for that reason because I'm like you these linebackers, they're just in the hole immediately. Yeah. Like there's no read. They're just
the
there.
Defensive end's at the center at the snap of the ball. He's crashing so hard.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No, but but then look, during 3rd down, the two sides went back and forth during 3rd down drill where defense was winning some offensive. So like I said, I know it's a bit of a camp paradox thing where if one side's doing good, what does it mean by the other? But I think I want that tit for tat, and I saw it yesterday. So just know everything I'm saying. I'm just very excited right now. So, maybe if you want to, like, ding me for natural bias or anything like that, I would not blame you, but I came away encouraged with what I saw at practice yesterday. All right, when we get back, we'll get to your questions. Keep it locked. You got OTB mailbag coming up here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
You're going to AccuTempBR.com, AccuTempBR.com. You get service to the highest degree. So for all of your AC, heating, and electrical needs, you want to go see our friends over there at AccuTemp. The workplace culture is fantastic, okay? And a lot of times that you can feel that culture bleed over from the employees, from the workplace, into the service that you receive as a customer. It's why their ratings online are, like, absurdly high. And trust me when I say, when you work with AccuTemp, you have them out your home, and you get into their flow, into their workflow, and they're checking you every 6 months for free, you're going to see why those ratings are so high. They're the best. AccuTempBR.com.
Speaking of those reviews, when we were at SEC Media Day, I think they had a little over 10,000 reviews on the site. Now, only a couple of weeks later, over 11,000 reviews, and all of them, or they're positive. Go check them out. Look, they're going to be there on time. They're going to do the right work. AccuTempBR.com, AccuTempBR.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Tigers back on the practice field. Zach Von Rosenberg has your practice report, and we'll pop down to Metairie for a Saints camp report. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Off the Bench. T-Bob, Jake Martin, Danny hanging out with you. You already know what time it is. OTB mailbag time. Let's dive into it.
Special delivery! I have this special delivery for Off the Bench. And look, it is marked most urgent.
We'll be writing to you.
The internet. What the is the internet?
God, what a good line. All right. Remember, in the chat, hashtag OTB mailbag. If you want to ask a question, we got a lot already. Hester, what 318 guys should we look out for this year?
318 guys we should look out for this year. Let me go ahead and get the little roster out.
Yeah, I have my laminated roster too, because I'm big time as well now.
I was there when you asked for it, so.
That is true.
You know what?
Shout out String. Oh, Jordan Tolles had a nice pick yesterday.
Peyton Todd, the punter, of course.
Okay, there we go.
I mean,
real talk.
pretty big responsibilities.
Yeah. Taking
over for a pretty veteran player.
Yeah, our guy ZVR, good friend of the show.
But for real though, that's
For
not
real?
for real.
Making beats?
Dre Jenkins is my top 318er for this season.
Yeah, he had a bunch of catches yesterday.
Yeah.
Neil McClellan asks, Jacob Hester with Sage Ryan or Cardell Flott with the first team? Nickel.
The day that I was out there, I want to say Cordell Flott might have been doing some school stuff.
Cordell was the number one yesterday.
Cam Lewis was getting some run at nickel the day I was out there as well.
Cordell had a really nice pick yesterday. Nicole Stillwad, it seems like previous regime's methods weren't player-friendly during camps and practices. How did that go over after you were recruited? I don't know that I never really thought about practice style during recruiting. Did you?
I knew what I was getting into.
Like, it never really, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you just heard so many people talk about Nick's practices in fourth quarter and all that. I was like, all right, here, it is what it is. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
everywhere
you're not making
go,
your decision based on like practice style.
No, hey, you don't, and I mean this, you don't want it to be easy.
No.
If it's easy, you're not winning.
That's true.
I've seen plenty of practices that are easy. Like, you have to be efficient. Efficient is not easy.
Yeah,
It's a difference.
Don't misconstrue. Like, smart is not easy, right?
Right.
Practicing smarter, like you said, efficiency, that is not easy. It's just smarter.
It's not beating your head against a brick wall.
Yes. I don't know how to read this name. With Max taking all the first team snaps from day one at camp, what is his projected floor and what's his ceiling?
I think his ceiling's as high as you want it to be. When I talk to people that know more about quarterback than I do, and I'm talking about guys that played the position, Aaron Murray came on here last week. He had, what do you have, Max is his third? I think he said he had trust in 3 quarterbacks or 4.
Yeah.
There's 4 quarterbacks in the SEC, and Max was in that group. He loves Max, and he's talked about him for a long time. When we were at media days before Max became the sure number 1, he was talking about all the things that he brought to the table. He's known Max for a long time. As he told the story, he's seen him grow up from like a 7-year-old who was uber competitive. He said, this is someone that has had this mindset and this mentality since he was 7 years old. So I'm going to trust guys like Aaron Murray, who holds the career passing record in the SEC.
I know this is just such a cop-out, but it's so hard to – I don't know how to answer this question. Like how to artificially ceiling someone when we've seen so little of them, or even how to project a floor necessarily. I mean, I think the stats will be like way better than the Danny Etling year with like the 2,500 and 16-4 touchdown to pick, I guess. I don't know.
No, it has to be in this offense, in this day and age of college football. No, it has to
Trent
be.
Ridge asks, has that going to be a mailbag with the Nick Storrs injury? If he shuts down football, can he go back to the baseball team? I don't know. I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so. The baseball team's trying to figure out how
their roster's over full anyway.
They're trying to figure out how they have enough spots for who they currently have now.
Graham Kelly has to go to be mailbag. Which player's best position for a breakout performance in game 1?
All right, so if we're going breakout, that means that we
They
know
can't have
them, but
broken
they
out
have
already,
not
right?
broken out already.
I mean, look, Mason Smith is potentially going to be a starter. He'll certainly be in that rotation. There's a true freshman name that could shine, and he'll be wearing them at 0 and looking huge.
All right, so if we're going true freshman, I'm going Brian Thomas, receiver.
He's got a lot of juice behind him, too, right now.
I saw him beat some veteran guys that I know have shut down some really good players the other day.
Yeah. Also, Armani Goodwin. Goodwin. Can't escape him. He looks good out there. The deuce.
Does look good in deuce. It is Goodwin.
Yeah, I know. I screwed that up. Emil McClellan, hashtag OTB mailbag, was announced that the Toledo Notre Dame game will be featured exclusively on NBC's Peacock platform. What are y'all's feelings on this when it comes to media rights in the future of college football streaming?
I don't mind buying a streaming service if I'm a fan of what's on the streaming service. I just don't. I have the Peacock package because of EPL. And I know some of Everton's games because they're not, Man City, Man United, Arsenal.
So you get all the games on that.
So
if I was going to watch
if they're
Wolves,
not, if
they're not
Wolves
featured
is
on
not
main
featured on
NBC.
NBC or NBC Sports, then they'll be on Peacock.
Okay. So I mean, in that regard,
and there's original
streaming,
series. So it is what it. I think eventually everything is going to be a streaming channel, a streaming service. I don't know that we'll have any more, cable where you go to a certain channel.
But now we've just done the roundabout cable, where now there are companies out there bundling streaming subscriptions into one price.
Yeah,
a la cable company. So I feel it'll all be streaming.
You'll go to an app,
but it is kind of funny. It is starting to resemble the different cable channels in some way.
Like you pay for what you want. Like there's some streaming services out there that aren't worth paying for.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, ultimately, it's just a content war, right? I mean, Toledo Notre Dame will not bring me to the table. Maybe combined with the EPL, that potentially would. Greg saying you better believe ESPN's going to put SEC games behind ESPN Plus, or like some of the right. So that would bring me to the table. So
you don't want to see Drew Brees make his debut. NBC, right?
That's right. He's calling Notre Dame. Yeah. Oh, weird, dude. Yeah. Now I kind of do want to see that.
See?
It's a concept.
Here we come, Peacock.
Like I said. Keaton Berry and on OTB mailbag. I saw an Instagram post about Gary Dellinger. How did he look? How the running backs look? I was very impressed with Dellinger thrown into the fire. I thought he acquitted himself well. I only saw the young running backs, and I thought they looked good. I think Emory was finishing up school like Coach O talked about, which he did. And I did also hear that Emory's does he use something? The physical testing numbers are just off the charts on him, or something like his cognition and everything.
Sounds like either Tommy Moffitt or Jack Marucci comment too.
By the way, Coach Moffitt has a intense goatee right now.
He does.
He looks like an evil guy. He looks like a bad guy off a movie.
Yeah.
Hashtag OTB mailbag. If you read something on Facebook and on the internet, it must be facts, right?
Don't do that to yourself. Do not do that to yourself.
No, everybody knows things that you read in books are facts. As long as it's on ink and paper. Like everything I write here, facts because it's on paper.
Again, don't do that to yourself.
Paul Pollard has to go do mailbag. T-Bob challenge Coach Moffitt to a 110 contest to practice yesterday. I will never run another 110 in my life.
I don't know how
Guaranteed.
I'll be honest with you. And I know you worked hard. Typically, Coach Moffitt does not like people that did not crush the 110 test.
Yeah. Bro, I'm an Alvin Roy Award winner for the weight room.
Like you did something.
No,
he loves you.
I just gotta. He just understands that. I'm like Gimli. We dwarves are natural sprinters. I'm wasted on cross country. It's the bottom line. The Gimpy leg.
Are you on the all-time offense weightlifting team?
No, I didn't win the overall Alvin Roy. I think Stampley got that.
Oh, so now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty.
I won the spring Alvin. There's 3 award winners for the spring Alvin Roy. Yeah. I mean, you're getting after it in the weight room, dude.
It's funny. And Coach Moffitt, if he was sitting right here, he would agree. He hates the fact that Flynn and I used to come to the afternoon group.
Yeah.
Hates it.
Don't
offer it, Tommy.
It's probably why you didn't get named in the running back list yesterday, where he named everybody else except for you.
Me and K. Falk, the only ones he left off.
I will say this, though. I was talking about these. I don't know if you can actually claim running back status because you had 17 seconds. You had 17 seconds on 110s. That is fullback status.
Does it seem?
I don't think you're technically a running back.
You know what? It might be actually more impressive if I'm I was a fullback and led the team in rush in 2 years. Right? Maybe I should just start diving into that.
I agree.
I was a fullback, but you know what? I toted the rock.
You tell some kids out, they're like, what's a fullback?
You talking about soccer?
Like a dinosaur?
Fullback? Coach O literally called me a dinosaur on Saturday.
Yeah.
In front of everybody. Yelled it.
Colton Mack, #GoTV mailbag, currently shopping streaming services for Red Zone. What are your recommendations? This is a dance I've done the last few years, and it sucks. It has ended with me paying like $70 a month for Fubo and Red Zone, even though I only watch Red Zone on Fubo TV. If you don't have, what are the different? I don't think if you don't have cable, you can't get Red Zone, unless you do Fubo. Fubo, I believe, is the only one that offers 4K Red Zone.
I mean, Red Zone, and correct me if I'm wrong, is mainly for fantasy football users that want to watch like a little bit of every game. For the most, I mean, I know what Red Zone is.
To me, dude, it's just the most pure.
Right, it's like the old, like the old college Saturday radio show where they cut into every single game that's going live, and like they'll give you 4 minutes and 3 minutes and 2 minutes.
It just feels like, to me, though, just injecting the best part of football into your veins for 7 or 8 hours straight. Like, it's awesome, dude. There's no commercials, and it's not just like it is quick little check-ins, but it moves fast. You get the feeling of it. I can't have it without it. I'm actually, I got to be honest, what I fight with is a lot of times is like wanting to really lock in on the Saints game, when sometimes I like watching Red Zone and looking at everything.
That's what I was about to ask,
whole.
because for the Hester household, we cheer for 4 teams in our house.
Yeah.
Like Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, and Saints. So I think that actually is a better option for me. I get to watch a little bit of everything.
I will never tell anybody no to Red Zone. I think it is absolutely fantastic. All right, last one. Paul Pollard has to go to be mailbag. Are you interested in the Ayer cut of the first Suicide Squad? I absolutely am. WB screwed up the Zack Snyder Justice League movie horribly badly. The first Suicide Squad is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, and Ayer pretty much said it's not at all the movie that he made. So yeah, of course, I want to see that. Also, Danny saw the new Suicide Squad, and he's more with you, Jake. He was not blown away at all. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah. I mean, you were saying that you would put it right up there with The Dark Knight.
I think it's right behind The Dark Knight, man.
He said it was better than both Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
What else? You threw another one in there.
I think it's a top 5 superhero movie of all time to me.
Okay,
but you're a DC fan, though, and that's not, again, that's great.
But I've never liked Harley Quinn, and I've never been a Suicide Squad fan necessarily. I just found it. But look, after talking to people, while most people have really liked the new one, it is clear that something about it just clicked with me in a way that's probably beyond a lot of others.
I didn't think it was bad.
No, it's not bad.
To put it in the top 5 is...
Again, Dark Knight, Logan's up there. No particular order. Dark Knight, Logan, probably Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok's my favorite.
Suicide Squad, this new one. And then, I don't know, Deadpool. The first Deadpool, probably.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't hate that list at all. As long as you don't put Green Lantern on there, we're good.
No, not even I could do that.
I see your mug.
Even though
and your disappointment.
If you would ask me night one, I left the theater like tweeting and talking about how I thought it was good, only to later realize.
Did you delete those?
No, it was just the wailings of a desperate man. All right, when we get back here on OTB, let's talk to Dr. Sean Bradley about this Will Lutz injury. Keep it locked. More off the bench next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, Williamson Eye Center is the place to go, the only place to go for your eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. You might have something going on with your vision and think you don't have options, and I am here to tell you, you not only have options, you have multiple options, because that's what I found out. I found out by going to a free consultation, a free eye exam, that I had options outside of LASIK, because I had LASIK. It had been over a decade. And my vision was still good, but I wanted it to be great because I wanted to be able to go to games, cover games, see it, right? Not have to look at TV screens, not have to squint when I was doing my job. And so I go and find out that PRK was an option for me, right? LASIK might be the option for you. There's so many different things, but you won't know until you go into that eye exam, right? And if you might be a little nervous about it, they ease those nerves so fast when you go over there. Dr. Blake Williamson is the best in the business. I promise you that. Multiple ways you can get it. WilliamsonEYE.com or calling 225-924-2020.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Coming up on a Tuesday edition of Early Line with Mario and Musso, we talk Heisman odds, look at some fantasy football storylines, and a whole lot more. Join us 2 to 3 p.m. for Early Line right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Right now, we're going to go to our friends over there at Ochsner. We're going to talk to Dr. Sean Bradley, primary care sports medicine physician. Joined the Ochsner team back in October of 2020. Dr. Bradley finished up his fellowship in Cleveland. He worked with the Indians, the Cavs, and the Guardians, now. And now he is down here, right here at the Grove at Baton Rouge, right? So who better to fill us in on the Will Lutz injury, Dr. Sean Bradley. Dr. Bradley, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us.
T-Bob, thanks for having me, man. Really appreciate it.
All right, so let's just dive right into it then, Doc. So Will Lutz, it was announced yesterday, will require surgery for a, quote, core injury. When you hear that with your medical background, kind of what do you surmise could potentially be going on?
Yeah. So when you look at Will Lutz and what he does, and being a kicker, a lot of times you can have overuse injuries, and core injuries specifically in the sports world typically refer to what we call a sports hernia. Now, T-Bob, this isn't the typical hernia you think about where you go to the doctors and, drop the drawers, cough, and all that. This is a breakdown and overuse injury of the core muscles, specifically your rectus muscles that give you kind of your six-pack, your oblique muscles, and sometimes some of your groin muscles, your adductor muscles that kind of oppose your abdominal muscles as well.
Man, so overuse of the abs, I guess, isn't something that I've had to worry about just yet. Maybe one day. But okay, so some of the timelines that I've seen on this, Nick Underhill reporting that like pessimistically, something like this could maybe take 12 weeks. So what are some potential timelines that Saints fans could be looking at when it comes to Will Lutz?
Yeah, so looking at this, though, I think they're doing the right thing, too, because, we try and rehab these as best as we can, but, we're on a specific timetable. Sometimes surgery is the way to go, just because you can kind of get athletes back a little bit faster. Mm-hmm. So when we're looking at timetables for this, 8 weeks is probably closer to the minimum amount of time for return. And when you really think about what he does, though, and the amount of power and torque that it takes with his abs and his core to kick, it may end up being a little bit longer. It's just tough to say because you don't know what the soft tissue injury is, how large it is, and how long he's been dealing with this.
So what would the rehab process be? Obviously, you can't get out there and start kicking balls 2 weeks after you have this procedure. So how long would that rehab process be, and what would that look like?
Yeah, so again, probably something closer to 8 to 12 weeks, I think, ideally. It's going to be a little bit of rest, letting the soft tissue heal initially, so kind of some downtime for sure. And then it's going to be a progressive work back into some flexibility, some strengthening, and then getting closer, kind of that 6, 8, 10-week time period is when you get more into sports-specific activities, maybe some light kicking, and then kind of working out into your longer distances and more power.
Dr. Sean Bradley, Ochsner Sports Medicine, again, the primary care sports medicine physician over there at Ochsner. Been in the game for a while now. So you sound so anywhere, just to kind of put a bow on it, Doc, anywhere from 2 to 3 months, 8 to 12 weeks, is that kind of where you're looking at that range for Will Lutz return?
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
Dr. Sean Bradley, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so maybe optimistic. Okay, we fall right in the middle. It's 10 weeks. That would be 5 games that you would miss. It's not ideal. That's very bad. Is it backbreaking, though? I don't know. I mean, getting back. Yeah. But then again, it's like you said, Jake, what kind of form is he in when he returns? Right. Having not kicked for so long. When he returns, how long has he been kicking at full strength again? Does this thing, I mean, hopefully it won't be a lagging kind of nagging thing because that's why you went and got it operated on it, so you can try to get back to being fully healthy. But, man, with the New Orleans Saints, it seems like the hits just keep on coming.
Now you got a new punter and a new kicker to start the season when you've had really the same one for a long time that's had a lot of experience together. And that's why I asked him kind of what the timetable was for a rehab, because how much is he going to be just sitting up because of rest? I mean, when can he actually start trying to – not full bore, but start to kick some footballs, because I can't imagine he's just going to come back and all of a sudden he's kicking, like we just saw in that video, like 50-plus yarders. So if I'm the Saints, do I say, you know what, hey, we're going to let you rest for 8 weeks, like that whole process, because we want you to be the Will Lutz that we know when you come back, and we're going to have this other guy in place. And if he's doing well, like we'll visit that when we get there. I would assume the Saints are going to caution this one and give it 8 weeks and not like the 5 weeks that we're talking about.
Well, and that would make sense also, given that maybe they want to free up a roster spot. So I believe it's the PUP list where you can't be activated for the first 6 weeks. And even then, maybe it's like you got to return to practice for 2 weeks beforehand. It remains to be seen. I will say this, though. It's a really worrying sign when you've already lost. Okay, the NFL is a razor-thin margin game, right? You understand this better than anyone. These little percentage point differences end up making the differences between multiple wins and losses in a season, which is the difference between making the playoffs or not, which is like the difference between people keeping their job or getting fired. So these things are always decided at the margins. And so losing an all-pro caliber kicker in a year where you've already got major offensive questions and you need all the points that you can get, that is very worrying to me. I mean, how are you supposed to win some of these close games? Think about all the times Will Lutz has saved the day over the last few years. How are you supposed to pull out these? And that was with Drew Brees. How are you supposed to pull off these close NFL games without Drew Brees when you don't have Will Lutz? And now you have a kicker in Nair who, and maybe he doesn't win the job, but 74% career kicker who hasn't kicked in the league since 2018, 2019.
I mean, and last year when Lutz wasn't superhuman, we were all like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening here? Because he's been so good. Like, to see him miss any kicks is always like, what's going on with Will? I don't know, because he's money from everywhere on the field. So you had greatness at that position, and when it even just tailed off a little bit last year, you were asking questions, and now you're breaking in someone, like you said, regardless of who you break in, you can't expect what
you're
you
not
got
going to
from
go
Will
all
Lutz.
pro.
No.
There's a reason why you're not in the league if you're getting broken in, right? Danny, I see y'all talking about the Saints-Texans games in the chat. That was epic, right? That was actually when I was talking about games that like Will Lutz won during the Breeze era. That's exactly where my head went, where Deshaun Watson engineers that incredible drive, and then Breeze is just surgical. But like what was that, like a 57-yarder?
57 yards. That was the first NFL game I broadcasted play-by-play.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Okay. Always goes back to Mario, Danny. There
Always.
You go, dude.
To bring it back to the Saints for a second, though.
Bring it back to Mario. I remember the day I drove into New Orleans.
That's a good luck charm, though. And at least that's anchored to a Saints memory instead of you being like, yeah, I remember that Deshaun Watson game. It was the day when the Pelicans released so-and-so. So, yeah, at least you tied it into the Saints.
I just don't want to say the Saints have been decimated on special teams. I mean, you lose Morstead, you lose Lutz for the beginning of the season now, and you lose Justin Hardy, which not enough people are talking about because he was huge on special teams.
I missed it. Oh, you mean just in the offseason? Yes.
Yeah.
You lost one of your war daddies. I mean, Hardy's been the special teams leader for years and years now. Losing Morstead is bad because you also lose a little leadership, but I do think Gillikin's going to be a beast. I don't think you need to worry about punter. I do think Hardy and Lutz are major losses, though.
I mean, just because they've been there so long together, and you also, if I'm not mistaken, Craig Robertson's not on the team anymore either,
Nope,
obviously.
he's
So
not. They like the young linebackers.
That's another war daddy.
Yes, exactly. I know. We'll see. All right, when we get back, wrapping up hour number 2, I still want to get 2 more Saints talk as well, as we got a little more Mike Thomas news. We got Nick Underhill coming up at 9 a.m. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to GEAUXroof.com. That's GoRoof.com. When you work with Go Roof, what do you get? Beautiful new roof every shingle time. Roof jokes. They got him. Roof fixes. They got those too. Roofing free professional estimates. They got those as well. Okay, so look. You got like a bad storm that rolls through. Maybe it's like some hail, something along those lines. Whatever the case may be, if you just think, you're maybe thinking, do I have a roof problem? And you want that peace of mind, you call up Go Roof at 927-8300, and they come out there and they give you a free professional estimate, okay? It doesn't cost you anything up front. After you get that estimate, you make a fully informed decision about what you want to do next. And then once the work is done, they offer you a 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the manufacturer warranty. So they're there for you before, during, and after. They're not there to maximize profit. They're to maximize your roof. Go to 978-8300, GoRoof.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Tigers back on the practice field. Zach Von Rosenberg has your practice report, and we'll pop down to Metairie for a Saints camp report. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Mario, Danny hanging out with you today. Again, I remain always impressed with Danny's intros. That Simpsons opening is fantastic. I have a couple things we can talk about here. We're going to get the Saints next with Nick Underhill. Okay, here's a bit of Saints news that is not news or anything, really. But the defensive ends of the Saints are very tall. Do you know this?
The Saints' defensive ends are very tall.
And you're like, why are you mentioning this? For no real reason except that I think you will be impressed with how tall they are. Tano Passanio, 6'7". Davenport and Turner, both 6'6". Carl Granderson, 6'5". Cam Jordan's the shortest one in the bunch at 6'4". How about that? Huh. That's crazy. What?
Why'd you look up their height?
I did. It was in the Jeff Duncan's 10 observations article. And I agree. It's a tall group. That's crazy. Everybody's like 6'6" or above almost.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's some tall boys. It's like yesterday when I was looking at the O-line D-line for LSU. I was like, damn, these are big dudes out here.
All right, I bet the running back group's a short group.
Probably. Look, I get it. Defensive end groups tend to be taller, but that's still tall for a D-end group, no?
Yeah, Compasio towers over people, man.
Yeah, I think now that we both host shows, Mario, technically I think how you pronounce his name is Passanio. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the K is silent.
All right, cool. I got 4 days to get that right.
Hey, let me correct you, even though I'm not sure it's right. Let me correct you.
I just said I'm not 100% sure to be humble.
Yeah, so don't
I am
correct
100% sure. It's Passanio. I know for a
then
fact.
say, with your chest out, if you're the host.
I was trying to do the little, like, I'm going to let, the little soft correction.
No, that's passive aggressive.
But I don't want to feel, I was trying to make it not feel aggressive at all.
No, I don't take it aggressive. And like I said, there will be a pronunciation guide for when I call the preseason game on Saturday. So we
That is true. Oh, yeah, actually, what am I talking about? You're going to know every pronunciation like way more than any of us will.
If you don't know it, just say, oh, boy.
Yeah, oh, boy.
Oh, boy down there, boy.
Or just say Tano. Old Tano. That's my boy, dude. TK. Can you call him TK if the K is silent?
Ooh.
Now there's
interesting.
Some interesting food for thought. Damn, I want to talk about this Guy Fieri apple pie hot dog.
that seems like something with Flynn tomorrow that makes more sense.
That's fair. It also seems delicious.
I've already gave him his warning.
Look at it, dude.
41-hour warning. I'll give him another 23-hour warning right when we go to break.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Ochsner.org today. Ochsner, now the official medical provider of the LHSAA. Look, because they are here in the community, y'all, okay? The Grove at Baton Rouge, just talked to Dr. Sean Bradley from the Grove at Baton Rouge. The amount of talent that they have amassed at the Grove right now and over there at Ochsner in New Orleans is only matched by the amount of talent in the facilities, right? I mean, the investment in the facilities, from the pre-op stuff like the MRI machines to the actual ORs themselves, which have been completely redeveloped in order to set the doctors up to maximize their own success levels, to even the post-op rooms, where there's like copper-infused blankets and services and antimicrobial paint, all to fight against infection and keep you safe. The bottom line is that whether it's working with the LHSAA, working with multiple colleges around the state, major pro teams, Ochsner cares about the community's health, and they are here for the community. So if you have any nagging issues you need to get checked out, you want to go to Ochsner, go to Ochsner.org today. It's Ochsner.org.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
For Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Tuesday, August 10th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see sunny skies with a high of 90. In case you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch that shortly up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Coming up on OTB, OT, Nick Underhill joins the show to talk Saints up next. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN or by subscribing to our YouTube for new content every day. OTB, OT, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo. Weekly New Orleans Saints updates with Nick Underhill on OTB are brought to you by former LSU Tiger and attorney Chris Perrette.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB, kicking off hour number 3 right now with our guy Nick Underhill, the best, New Orleans .football. There are about a million different topics that we could start, but let's start with the news piece that we kind of been talking about during the show today, which is the Will Lutz injury. Nick, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us. Let's start here. Was this Will Lutz injury a recent development, or is it akin to something like the Mike Thomas situation where they've been monitoring it and it finally just became untenable?
I like that we're starting with Lutz instead of Mike Thomas because it is a big deal for this team to lose their kicker. And, you know, Sean Payton over the years really hasn't had too many kickers that he trusts, and Lutz has been one of the outlier guys, and he's, you know, one of the best in the business. Last year he missed maybe, 4 field goals. I think 3 of them were because the laces were spotted wrong, and then Thomas Morstead, after the season, actually got LASIK surgery because he was having trouble seeing things, and I think that was part of the issue with the operation. But, yeah, this is something that he's been dealing with. He started camp on the NFI list, non-football injury list. He had that core muscle. I think it was a sports hernia, and he tried to come back last week. He kicked one day in practice. It looked good. Then Saturday he was out there doing some work, and he had to leave early. Saw him leave with the trainer, and they shut it down and got the surgery. And, you know, it was just something they wanted to do right away instead of trying to rehab it, because he is a very significant part of this team. And, you know, I think that was amplified yesterday by the guys they brought in to work out. You know, they signed a guy that, you know, has a 70-some% career field goal percentage. The other guy that they tried out kicked 1 year in the league, and it was like 67%. So, I mean, there just aren't a lot of great kickers out there. And maybe it's something where you go through the preseason, teams with 2 teams end up cutting somebody, and there's a change before the season because, you know, the top 60 or so kickers in the league right now are on other teams, and you're kind of at the bottom, you know, of that kicker carousel. So, you know, they signed Mayer. I'm not sure, though, that's necessarily going to be the guy that you go into the season with, but he will get the first crack at it.
Nick, as you know, OTB is a special teams War Daddy show. We talk about all 3 phases here on this show, and I'm a little bit worried, right? New punter, new kicker. You lose War Daddies and Hardy and Robinson, guys that were staples on your special teams. They were core guys, all 4, and that's really been a strength for the Saints. And now you kind of hit reset and you start over.
Yeah, look, that Justin Hardy loss is a big deal. I mean, they got away last year with you know, Morstead, he was hurt, he was punting, and it just wasn't what it used to be. And the distance, the hang time, all that stuff was lesser than it used to be. And having Hardy and JT Gray allowed you to still rank in the top of the league in that punt. And, you know, losing him is one of those low-key losses that I think is going to be a big deal. And I'm not sure, you know, I watch the Gunners every day because that's the easiest way to notice who's going to make the team. I mean, special teams, these guys further down the roster, you see Bryce Thompson, the safety they brought in, UDFA, he makes a play. Deuce Wallace makes a play there. And those are guys that get put on your radar. Paulson Adebo's look good as a Gunner too, but I don't know if there's that guy yet that stands out quite the same way as Hardy did. Last year, Marquez Callaway was somebody that, you know, immediately looked great as a Gunner. He didn't end up in that role during the season because, you know, they had the other 2 guys. But, you know, right away, it's like, oh, he has a good chance of making the team. So that's a big thing that they got to try to figure out. You know, I do think that Blake Gillikin, I think he's got a bigger leg than Morstead. You know, he's hung some punts above 5 seconds, and the hang time on a few of these have been just, you know, absolutely outrageous. That's like an all-pro time. You know, the question that we'll see once it gets into game situations is situational punting good, directional. Can he, you know, put it inside the 20, inside the 10? You know, right now they're just kind of out there booming them and hanging them, and it's, you know, who has the biggest leg. And his consistency, though, is something that's really, really stands out. Like, you know, he'll punt from the 20 and 4 punts in a row. The hang time is exactly the same or within a couple tenths of a second. So his mechanics are just so repeatable, and I think that's going to lend itself to him being a very consistent punter. But, I mean, it's something that we do have to see in games.
Nick Underhill at Nick_Underhill on Twitter. Nuance.football is tight. Trust me when I say you want to sign up. More on that later. Nick, let's get to the Mike Thomas elephant in the room. It is clear, as your article states from this morning, it is clear the relationship is there's problems right now. It is a strained relationship. Like you said, even if you don't read the media reports, which are also legitimate, like even if you don't read those about unanswered calls, all this other stuff, the facts of the matter are he was suspended last week. Coach Payton has come out publicly. Mike Thomas has subtweeted basically publicly and liked all these tweets. The relationship is strained. My question is twofold. If you were going to trade Mike Thomas or something like that, what are the barriers? And maybe more importantly, has it gotten bad enough where the Saints would be willing to swallow these barriers?
I mean, the second part of it's really the whole crux of the whole situation. If they feel like they need him out of the building, it is something where you swallow the barriers, and they have done that in the past. You know, they got rid of Junior Gillette right after they signed him, and that situation was a little bit different. There was, an off-field incident that kind of forced their hand on that. But the Jimmy Graham situation, they signed him, decided he wasn't the right guy for the team. There were some problems there, and, they ate the dead cap money. So, this is one of those things where you look at it and you say, okay, Mike Thomas, if they trade him, there's $32 million in dead money. There's no way they're going to trade him, because that's how we all look at these things, and that's how 31 other teams in the NFL operate. The Saints aren't a team, though, that, and we should all know this by now, they don't make decisions based on the salary cap. And if something has to happen, it'll happen, and they'll manipulate it, and they'll figure out a way to make it work. So it is a significant barrier, and you would have to really just want him out of the building and decide that, you know what, this guy can't come back in here. There's been too many incidents. For the sake of the team, we got to take this hit and forget about the money. And those are the kind of decisions the Saints make. And on one hand, yeah, it's financially irresponsible, but on the other hand, if you have to do that to protect your team, those are hard decisions that got to be made. So it can be something that deserves a lot of criticism, but, on the other side of it, sometimes you got to admit it's necessary and just kind of take the hit. So if they were to trade him, $32 million hit, the way it breaks down, it'd be like $9 million and some change this year would go on the cap. So they'd actually save about $1 million in this season by getting rid of him. And then next year, though, it would be a $22 million hit in some change. So that's a sizable amount of money to not have a player on your team, but the cap will go up. The new money from the TV deals will kick in, and God willing, there'll be fans in the stands, and they won't have to, have this crunch again in another year. But, it's tough, and that is a huge hit. And look, this is also a team that doesn't have a lot of wide receivers, but they also want to win right now. And trading, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL isn't something that's going to help with that goal. But, if it's to the point where fences can't be mended, there's too much has happened, it's a distraction, it is a hard decision that I could see happening. I'm not predicting it's happening. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I think it's something that people need to realistically look at. Everything that's happened, the fight with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson last year, the suspension stemming from that, not going to your doctor's appointments this offseason, and, as Jeff Duncan reported, not answering your phone for 3 months. Sean Payton saying in public that it should have been handled differently during his pre-training camp press conference. Mike Thomas's tweet saying that the Saints hammered his reputation and it was unfair, and he's keeping his mouth shut to protect them. All these things without the commentary around them, it paints the picture of a very tenuous situation. And, I think all outcomes right now are something that people got to be looking at and got to be prepared, and they shouldn't be shocked if, it ends up in a trade, or, it's quite possible that there isn't a trade partner. And I've been saying this since last year. I mean, if you get him back on the building, he starts playing well, they're winning games, he's getting his yards. It's possible that can be the cure-all, but I mean, it's just so hard to predict that right now because he's not playing. He's injured. He's not on the field. So all this situation is doing is festering and getting worse. Yeah. And it just feels like that's so far off. But, if they can hold tight until then, maybe you fix the situation. But, it's hard to predict anything right now because it is just so tenuous. And you never know, is there going to be a tweet today that goes out? Does he get mad and fire something off and blows it up? I mean, it's a very tenuous situation.
All right. So, Nick, let me ask you this, because we know how contracts work. If you have an all-season injury and you don't do the things that you're supposed to be doing by going to the doctor appointments, by checking in with the Saints, is there something in his contract where they could possibly do something? Just because, I mean, insubordination would kind of come up when you don't go to your doctor's appointments and you don't follow up with the team and you turn your phone off and you screen calls. That has to be something in your contract where you can possibly change, some of this outcome.
I mean, that'd be a tough one to go through. And I mean, look, he still has. I mean, you're right. There are things, and there's contract detrimental and all the stuff that you could go through. That would be a really messy situation, though, where I think it would end in a ton of arbitration, and you'd eventually maybe get some cap money back, but it'd be way down the road. And people start looking at you around the league, and players talk, that, and you don't want to be the team that's like kind of going after players. And through that situation, you're just getting rid of them, and you aren't getting anything back. I think Mike Thomas still has a lot of value. I think it's lesser than it was a month ago before he was the guy that wasn't answering his phone and all this stuff. And an injured player that's not cooperating with his team, that's a guy that's going to take a hit on his value. And look, I think if they're going to trade him, I think it's better to do it ASAP, because if that next thing happens, then your leverage and your bargaining position becomes even lesser. Like the Antonio Brown situation is more and more stuff continue going on in Pittsburgh. His value just dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped until it was, basically nothing. And you don't want this situation to end up in that spot. And if you were to trade him right now, the way his contract is set up, you can go 3 years. He'd be $11 million average annual value, $1 million for the trading team this year. And then you just cut him in the last year of the contract before the $18 million comes due, and you get him for the same price as Nelson Aguilar. So, I mean, there's a lot of value for other teams. It's just do you want to deal with the headache? Do you want to deal with the injury? But, going after the money, it is something that I think you could try, but I don't know if that would be the most productive outcome right now.
You just put it into some stark perspective there, Nick. How do we end up here? Okay, and let's get to maybe some happier news here. Nick, is what's all this talk about Ian Book kind of flashing a little bit? Not necessarily that he'll I don't know that he has a role to play this year or anything, but it seems like Book's kind of acquitting himself well this camp.
Yeah, I'll go out on a limb here and say that I think a lot of the stuff that was said before the draft, after the draft pick, was maybe a little bit off, just as far as, him being a guy that can't play in the NFL. I hope he performs as well as he is in training camp and games. It could be a situation where he really knows who he's up against and has picked up on some tendencies. The depth at cornerback is pretty soft. And, by the time you get down to the third team, fourth team, maybe he's just throwing at guys that aren't very good at covering. But it looks like he's doing a really good job. He's steady in the pocket. He's accurate. And he's making some heady plays. He had one yesterday, kind of avoided the rush, hit Juwan Johnson on the sideline, but the real gem, and I will put this as one of the top 2 or 3 throws of training camp so far. They were in a red zone drill. He pump fakes to Alvin on the sideline. Safety bites down and just hits the receiver over the top for a touchdown. And it's just very, very heady plays and stuff that, you don't necessarily always see right away from young quarterbacks. And, it's hard not to make the comparison to Garrett Grayson, but he's much better than I think Garrett Grayson ever has been, or ever was, during his time in training camp. And look, I think quarterback's just a position where you can either see it or you don't. And it doesn't take a long time to see if there's at least some of it. And I think that Book definitely has some of it. I hope he plays well in the preseason so that people can see that, the stuff we're seeing in training camp. Otherwise, it's just going to be folklore and we're all idiots. But I mean, look, this guy, he's really looked good. I think that there's a chance for him to be a very good NFL backup. I don't know if I see, a starter at this point. It's really early. He could develop and everything, but I think his start to this camp has been really good. And, I think there is a lot of promise there.
Nick, Juwan Johnson was a name that we heard. Obviously, came in as a receiver, going to try some things at tight end. His name has flashed a couple of times. What's the latest with his role with the Saints?
Man, he looks awesome right now, and he's really starting to come on more and more as camp goes on. You see him settling into the tight end and getting better at it. I think the blocking is kind of the big barrier for him. But and again, it's not totally live at practice, even in pads, but the want to and the desire to block is there. You see him getting in the mix, which I think is a huge part of the battle, and you can build from there. So if he just becomes a decent enough blocker so that he gets covered like a tight end, I think that he's going to be good for this team. I actually think he's going to have a role this year. I'd be surprised if he isn't involved in the passing game quite a bit. They got a void there kind of at that wide tight end spot. And, with Troutman, he can do a little bit of both, but I think there's definitely a spot for Johnson to do a lot on this team. I mean, and he had 3 touchdowns yesterday, and they hit him on some of these bootleg plays. He's just able to create mismatches, and with the way this offense is without a lot of weapons right now, I really do think early in the season that there's a place for him to make some plays and get on the field.
All right, Nick, I really apologize because I know we kept you so long, but obviously we have to ask about Jameis Watts real quick as we close out. I feel like anecdotally I'm reading that Jameis is maybe taking a slight edge. Is this accurate? And if it is, at what point do we start to see the reps start to reflect that? Like, how does Jameis finish this fight?
So if Jameis goes out there today and has a good day and he's the first quarterback in this camp to string together 2 good days in a row, I mean, I would be all in on it right now. If you lay out every practice, I think Jameis probably has the best 3 or 4 out of both guys, but it's so up and down, and part of that's probably due to the rotation, 2 days with the first team, 2 days with the second team, 2 days with the first team. So there isn't as much rhythm being built, but the drawback is, the last time Jameis had a good day, he was like 9 of 10 in practice, then he comes out and it's like 5 of 8 interception, and it just looks, a little bit sloppy. I mean, the momentum doesn't carry over. So yesterday I thought was possibly his second best practice. He had a red zone period that was just absolutely elite. I mean, just the passes he was hitting, the poise, all of it, it looked just outstanding. So yeah, I mean, gun to the head, if I had to pick one today, it would be Jameis. By the end of this practice, it might be back to even. I mean, I think that's how close it is.
Okay.
Going into the preseason games, I think they're probably going to take turns starting games. I wouldn't be surprised if Taysom gets the first one, but just because he started camp is the number one guy, and then Jameis gets the second one. So I think they're going to go through these games, and it's that close to where, I don't know if you pick one at this point or start tailoring anything. I think you kind of go as you are, go through the first 2 games, evaluate it, and then see where you're at going into the third one. But it is that close. I think Jameis is a little bit better, but it's not far enough yet to where you say, this is the guy.
Nick Underhill, at Nick_Underhill. Sign up for New Orleans Football, y'all. When you do, not only do you get your money's worth with the best Saints inside information, but the money doesn't go to any corporate overloads. It goes right to helping Nick do this excellent journalism. Nick, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
For real, sign up. Okay. There's why do you think I read a lot of Saints stuff? Okay, and I love a lot of different writers, but the man who I'm constantly referencing is Nick a lot of times for a reason.
Those salary cap numbers that he threw out there just on a hypothetical Michael Thomas question.
Yeah, he's locked in. He's always
impressive.
locked in. Also, it's kind of scary to think that we're starting to trend to Antonio Brown sort of trajectory right now. Like, how did we get here? Right? I thought Mike Thomas was the great justification for paying your receivers if they play well. I mean, he got the bag, and then he had the best season of all time, and then it's just been one thing after another since then.
And you don't, like right now, you would like a quarterback, like a leader to be like, hey, Mike, we need you. Here's the deal. Here's the situation. Let's work this out. But they're in a battle.
Yeah.
Like the quarterbacks right now, they're in a battle. So every second of their day is geared towards winning that job and being the leader of the team. You said it yesterday. If Drew's there, what's that situation look like? Is it at this point?
I don't know. We shall see.
Don't feel great, Bob.
No, it's going to be so crazy if Mike Thomas is traded. It's still hard for me to even get there mentally, but who knows? How about the little insight into the Thomas Morstead laces thing? Yeah. Laces out, Tom. The hell's going on, dude?
Come on,
Yeah, come on, dude. You got our boy Lutz looking mortal last year.
That's a bad feeling. It's a bad feeling when you're holding and you don't give him the oof.
Your hands are too big to hold. How's that possible?
I help.
Oh, wow. Okay, I thought they'd just be distracted for the kicker. They couldn't see the ball. They'd just be like flying blind, like Luke in the trench shot. All right,
one
when
of
we get
my
back.
most nerve-wracking times in my life is I had to hold for Nate Kading in a training camp practice in the NFL. And I was like, if you screw this up, they might cut you on the spot.
And you did it? You pulled it off?
It was good
Did you
enough.
make a kick?
Nate's like, could have been better, but Nate made it.
The laces were out?
The laces were perfect.
Okay. That's because it was a good
I leaned
snap.
it a little too much, though, he said. Leaned it a little too much.
All right, when we get back here at OTB, more NFL talk. Keep it locked.
OTB, OT.
Go to DonaldSvilleGlassandBody.com, DGBAuto.com. There's another place you can find them, or on Facebook at Donaldsville Glass and Body. And remember, you want to keep Donaldsville Glass and Body locked in your head, because if you get in an accident, the insurance company cannot tell you where to go. The police cannot tell you who gets to tow. The answer to both is DG&B. They are the absolute best, man. A one-stop car shop, tires, wheels, brakes, collision repair. The best body shop in the state. I'll put that on anything. But, like, you just need an oil change, simple complaint. It doesn't matter. I go to Donaldsville for everything car-related.
It doesn't matter. Frame repair, body and paint services, tires and alignment, glass installation and repair. That's something I told you about. Like, they stay on top of it over at DGB. If there's like a new tool, if there's a new way to do things, they're going to do it that way. Like with windshield repair. Had no idea that you have to have this machine that calibrates the sensors that are in a windshield, but they do, because they're specialists in everything that they do over at Donaldsville Glass and Body. Check them out online, dgbauto.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside, off the bench, middle relief, and after further review. Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Coming up on a Tuesday edition of Early Line with Mario and Musso, we talk Heisman odds, look at some fantasy football storylines, and a whole lot more. Join us 2 to 3 p.m. for Early Line right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
You're old, Danny. This is a bop. That's what the kids say. This is a bop right here.
Is 27 the age that you start feeling old?
I think the age you start feeling old is every year you get older, you complain about how you're old now. And everybody that's older than you tells you you're crazy, and everybody that's younger than you says you are.
For me, to answer your question, Mario, for me, it was 32. At 32 years old, I was like, I'm no longer going to ever be cool and hip and within the times.
Speak for yourself.
You know what I mean?
I know that this is a bop.
It's like, man,
okay? And I'm 32.
Why not 30?
For me, it was 32. I don't know. It was 32 years old.
It's random.
Okay, Danny, what do the cool kids say then? If not, this is a bop.
This is a bop. Sounds like my dad. So
Yeah, that really
What about this is a banger?
Okay, that's more younger.
Slaps.
Okay.
Yeah, this slaps. That's better.
Slaps is still cool? No,
yeah, slaps.
dude.
Slaps
dude.
Slaps will never go out.
Wow, you probably say hits different too.
This is a bop.
Like a bop sounds
horrible.
like somebody who has a white T-shirt that rolls the sleeves and has a comb in there.
No, see, y'all are old, dude. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. Everything that's old
don't
is
get
new.
it.
This
Y'all
is a
don't
bop
get it.
is cool.
I still say bop sometimes.
It's like hits bop. There you go, Mario.
You and Mario say bop.
Hey, I think getting Mario's certification there is the coolest, Mario. So I'm very happy to have you on Team Kids Bop with me.
Thanks.
You go to the,
think of the bop machine. Isn't there a bop machine that, you know what I'm talking about? The shake and bop?
yeah.
A toy.
Yeah.
I don't know where
Like
you're
bop
talking
it?
about. Oh, bop
Yeah,
it.
bop it.
Yeah,
Bop
bop
it.
it's great.
That's what I think of when you say
Twist it.
bop.
Yeah.
Slap it. I don't know.
I mean, what does it sound like you're doing? Right? Pull it.
Bop
Yank
it
it.
Bop it was discontinued. Fun fact.
Tug it.
It was discontinued?
Mm-hmm.
Bang it.
Bop it was?
Yeah, by Hasbro.
Oh, yeah.
Bop it was okay. It wasn't the best.
With your little tiny hands, you couldn't do all the things at once. I get it.
Actually, pretty nimble.
Nah, I don't know about
what was the thing where you would it was attached to one leg, and you would just flip it in a circle while you jumped over with your other leg. You remember what I'm talking about? Skip it. Yeah, dude. Skip it was pretty fun too. Skip it was a bop. It was a banger, Danny. It was a hot item. It was fire. Still say fire?
It's fire. You gotta say fire.
Fire? With an A.
F-Y-A.
No, dude. No, fire. You don't say fire. You wouldn't know, dude. All right. That's
you use
enough of slang. No, I don't know. To answer your question, Mario, I don't think that I really felt old until I either got around 30 or until I got 30 or started having kids. Maybe then.
Fair.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself. I was still in college at 30.
But whatever. I mean, right? It is all a matter of perspective, right? Because were you really? I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, I retired at 30, went back to school at 30.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah, I had one more semester. So shout out to the missus because she was taking care of 3 boys at the time. Didn't have Memphis yet, and I was taking 21 hours.
21 hours?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. So you were straight up like school. I'm going to the NFL. How many?
Because I only went 3.5. Yeah, I didn't redshirt, and then I left that
Dude.
last semester to go train.
Wow.
And then, of course, they add in hours. I was only supposed to have 12.
What was it like returning to class? Were you in classrooms as a 30-year-old?
I went to 2. Yeah, I had 2 were in person. The rest
Did
were
people know
online.
who you were?
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, they were cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It'd be very fascinating to go into
I
a
wasn't
college
the oldest
classroom
person
again.
by any means, though.
No, there was always, I do
Yeah.
remember from class, there'd always be some older gentleman or gentlewoman extending their schooling or intelligence.
It was so
or
much
whatever.
easier when I was 30 and wasn't playing football. I mean, just incredibly easy.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's hard to maintain perspective at a younger age.
Right.
It's hard to kind of have your priorities straight. I mean, I think the probably the most common regret that almost all of us feel, I know I feel this deeply, is how I approached my education when I was younger. Especially given that, especially in college, it was just like with football, it's just like it was all football, right? And then anything that was left over, it was just let's just get through school. Let's just do whatever the base level that you need to do.
Did
is.
y'all
And now
have
you're like,
rules?
man, I had a really good chance for an education.
Did
I
you have
kinda
rules in
wasted it.
place, though, for study hall? Because me and Stelz went into our freshman year, and they sit you down and like, hey, if you make a 3.0 or better after this first semester, you don't have to come in here anymore. We're like, wait a minute. So if we make a 3.0, we don't have to go to study hall after this first semester.
Yep.
It's like, there's no way I'm not making a 3.0.
Yeah, that's what I did. And so I didn't have to go to study hall for a while.
And then that.
Well, then I just stopped going to class altogether. And so eventually, I had to pull
How'd you
off.
get away with that? Class checkers?
Because I didn't get class check because my GPA was good. And
see, we all did because we all still had the same classes together.
I guess I did too. I don't know.
I have vivid memories of Big Baby literally running like with sweat everywhere, half his shirt on, trying to get to class before the class checker left because they stayed for like 10, 15 minutes. And he was every day. He'd be in like sandals, running, like shirts like halfway on.
No, and then eventually though I did do the not going to school thing a bit too hard, and I had to pull off some exam like kind of Hail Marys to stay eligible. Your boy made it though.
That gives me chills.
Yeah.
Sweaty palms thinking about having to make a certain grade on a test to be able to be eligible.
But whatever. You rise to the occasion. You do what you have to do. Whatever. The overall point of this is I think it'd be very interesting to go back to school today and really appreciate it. I was talking about this with somebody yesterday. So they say that youth is wasted on the young, right? And that is true. The young have no perspective for what the great advantages of their youth. But if you had that perspective, then you're no longer young, right? The very things that makes you so young and invincible feeling and all these other things that give you so many advantages are the things that lead you to feel like, or lead us to feel like the youth are wasting it. I don't know. There's something I was thinking about a lot the other day.
It is a mindset. You can have a youthful mindset. My man, Christopher Doring, has a very youthful mindset.
Yeah, how old is Doring
now? My
man
is 48 years old. He is yoked, works out every day, does some things at night. I mean, he runs a mortgage company during the day.
It looks like
does
he's
radio,
32,
does TV.
dude. That's absolutely insane.
My man's got a youthful mindset, and he'll tell you he's got a youthful mindset.
What class, if you were going to go back to school today, what class would you most want to take? Or like what class would you most be into?
History for sure.
I think me too, dude.
I did
the one world history class I tried to LSU, I bailed on it so quick.
I took plenty of history classes I didn't appreciate because just like you, it's like, okay, what can I do to just make the grade that I need to make and not really dive into it? Because there's some different parts of history that I feel like I'm not as strong as I want to be in.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely true. Who knows? Who knows what I got more into? Y'all now, but you boys back there are actually using your degrees.
Yeah, trying to.
Yeah, exactly, right? So do you feel like vindicated? Like, do you feel like you made the right choices college education-wise?
Yeah, it feels good. I'm at a stage where I think I'm finally starting to kind of see the fruits of my labor. I do think I paid enough attention in class. My advice to the younger kids would be to save your money. If you have like a side job or anything in college, don't spend it. Save your money. You will be thankful later.
What about you, Danny? You feel like you're using your schooling?
Yeah, absolutely. Like every media job, like you see that becomes available, like they require mass comm degree.
There you go.
And that's how you get the foot in the door. And like mass comm came easy to me in college because I was always good at writing. So.
Bo Will says my U.S. history teacher at LSU was awesome. Man, I would like that. Meal saying he wants to know more about military history, specifically World War I and the proxy wars that led up to World War I.
I would have probably taken more speech classes as well at LSU. I have no problem getting up and speaking in front of people now, but at that time, it was a little terrifying for me.
Really?
It's fun. Like,
wow. Look at this. Look at you now.
So that time I was talking about, I did the speech before Bobby Bowden. He was the keynote, and I was before him. Like after I did that, and it was like, man, that was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I'm like, this is something that I can do. This is easy. But I didn't have the speech classes at LSU because I was terrified to take them. I took one speech class, and I was nervous about it. My man, War Daddy Craig Stouts, crushed it. Now, his accent, you had to kind of decode some of it.
That's a yaddy accent.
My man went up there, and he's like, hey, Jay Hess, I'm about to go up there and get a little speech there.
Craig Stouts sounds like Jimmy Ott.
He does, but he crushed it. And I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. It's just you got to go do it. Like you go do it, and then all those nerves go away. Now it's like I literally couldn't care less.
I dropped out of public speaking.
A lot of people do, Danny.
The first week.
Right, a lot of people do.
Speech class at BRCC was fun. I did that my freshman year.
Yeah, that's
BRCC. There you go.
Go Bears.
Yes, sir.
Go
Bears.
My wife did that too. That route. Yeah, no, I don't know. I never had any problem with the public speaking courses. That was not bad for me. I mean, I will say my history professors at LSU were chill as hell. I felt like they let discussions flow freely. That's what I look back on and truly regret, is because I put so much into the football side and I skipped so much class and everything because I could, right? If I just showed up for an exam and passed it, then whatever, it didn't matter. I missed that, like, intellectual, stimulating, you're in the classroom, you're with your peers, you're talking, you're figuring things out. Like, I got more of that in high school than I did in college, and that was super disappointing. But alas, these are the regrets that we have to process.
I'm sitting here thinking now about Danny having to get in front of like 6,000 people and give a speech.
I know. I mean, he talks on air, but
Absolutely
it is different,
not.
I guess,
No.
when you're like,
No way.
Like, well, I feel like Mario would get up there and wouldn't even see the people, right? Just knowing Mario's personality. But Danny, I feel like that's something that he just would not do.
My spine like clings up when I have to do something like that.
Right. Because Danny has knowledge that if he could share, if he went back to LSU and a mass comm class and he could show all of his work, I mean, that would be very valuable.
I agree.
But it's not something that Danny wants to do. And
Danny,
I get that.
He's an artiste. He's behind the camera, man. He's a director, EP. Yeah, big things coming. All right. When we get back, I don't know, just more off the bench. Come hang out with us.
Shenanigans.
Here on OTB.
OTB, OT.
Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. If you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, go to the website, All-Star Toyota BatonRouge.com. Look at some of the incredible deals that they have on the Highlander RAV4, the new 2021 Sienna, the new 2021 Tundra, okay? If you want to buy a brand new vehicle, they got you. If you want to buy a Toyota certified used vehicle, where you're going to get things like a warranty, they got you there as well. If you want to rent, or vacation, going to Disney, something like that. You want to rent a minivan before you decide to take the full plunge, they're way cheaper than your normal rental companies. Go to All-Star Toyota.
Now is the time for your trade-in. You're going to get fantastic value for that. We've been telling you that over the last couple of weeks and months. But if you do trade in your vehicle, well, what does that mean? Well, it means you need something new. And no matter what your needs are, they're going to be met over at All-Star. Sedan, midsize, full-size SUV, truck, van, hybrid, whatever it might be. Whatever you're looking for, they've got you covered. Check them out online, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I'm Jay Ducote.
I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jdacody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installation.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Tigers back on the practice field. Zach Von Rosenberg has your practice report, and we'll pop down to Metairie for a Saints camp report. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I've been moving calm, don't start no trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. to cuddle with me. You know how I like it when you loving on me. I don't wanna die for them to miss me. Yes, I see the things that they wishing on me. Hope I got some brothers that outlive me. They gon' tell the story was different with me. God's plan, God's plan. I hold back sometimes I won't.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Mario, and Danny hanging out with you today, talking a little Mike Thomas. Dan, if you could put that tweet on the screen. This is from CD Carter 13. He's actually a really good Twitter follow. Very funny guy. I don't know where he's from. There's a lot of fantasy football stuff. But this is a tweet from 2017 that I think probably feels relevant to Saints fans nowadays. It says, typical QB tweet. Love my teammates. God is good. Exclamation mark. Typical running back tweet. Keep grinding. Typical tight end tweet. Derp. Typical wide receiver tweet. The enemy speaks kindly and holds a knife. I mean, that is so, if that does not perfectly explain the different tweeting styles of the NFL position, shout out to you, CD Carter. That is an absolute banger of a tweet. And
dude, that is so spot on.
It's crazy.
Every training
camp,
every training camp that we came into, I throw out the generic, like, the boys are back, let's grind.
Exactly, dude. And just 140. This might have been before they extended the Twitter characters too. So just like 120 characters. He perfectly summed up the psychology of each of the positions. What is it about the wide receivers that makes them a bit like? Is it the madness that is engineered by having, like, your success depends on another man? Like, so that almost no matter how good you are alone, you have to have some other piece in the puzzle that can set you up?
I don't know, man. It's at every level. It's at every level. Like high school, middle school, pee-wee football, the receivers, always. It's just always. Like, it's a mindset, it's a mentality, and maybe you have to have some of that. In fact, you probably do. But, man, it ain't never their fault. It ain't never their fault. Hey, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
The enemy speaks kindly and holds a knife.
And it's always like seven different things that have happened to why you're not doing what you're doing.
Well, and it's like, I would love to know Mike Thomas' side of the story. I really would.
Yeah, I mean, I said it yesterday. I think that, yeah, you tried to call him, but, man, that's your franchise.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm like, if he, but
you
especially if
go do something more than a phone call.
Well, and if he's going to be sitting out here tweeting things like, they're trying to damage reputation while you're keeping theirs intact, like, okay, well, I mean, then maybe don't. I mean, then maybe defend yourself if you really feel like your position is that defensible. Because remember, he was liking a whole bunch of tweets about the organization, like, kind of ruining Mike Thomas and whatnot. So,
what would the offensive line tweet be, though?
Man, I'm trying to think about O linemen that I follow on Twitter. I don't know, something about either like food or grinding. I mean, I feel like the O line is a bit white bread, like the running backs in a lot of ways. I'd have to really think on this actually. I need to think more before I answer this. I'm trying to come up with something good off the jump, but I don't think I'm getting.
And Derp's it's just like
and tight ends just idiots.
It's just like meaningless stuff, right? Yeah, meaningless.
Yeah, it's like Derp is Gronk, just put into word form. Just like, yeah, dude, let's do it.
Used as a substitute for speech, regarded as meaningless or stupid, or to comment on a foolish or stupid action.
Yeah, exactly.
Example given: lower tax rates and far lower job creation. Derp.
Oh wow, what an interesting. That's kind of an interesting, like kind of an intelligent commentary to then pair with Derp.
The Derp heard outside apparently was only the tip of the iceberg.
Oh yeah, here we go. Kyle Aycock, O-line tweet. Let's go get naked at Texas Day, Brazil. That never happened. Again, that never happened, Joel. Ever. I never swing meat.
Slanging.
I never slung meat at a Texas Day, Brazil.
Man, that's a somewhat of just a family establishment. Can't believe that happened.
I know.
Probably a reason,
Just flip that card on green. I'll be serving up the meat all night. When we get back, we'll Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cole Kurzline. Get your questions in.
OTB, OT.
That's a bop. Go to AdvantageClean.com.
No, AdvantageClean is a banger.
It's a
slapper.
Fire.
Not a bop.
You know what? If you got to deal with any fire damages, but like not the good fire, like actual fire damages, you want to go to AdvantageClean or water or mold. So any of Danny's old moldy takes start infesting your house and your walls getting black spots, you call AdvantageClean, 369-5228. They're your first call, and they solve it all. They fix the problem. They document it. They deal with the insurance company for you. AdvantageClean.com.
Look, I've been telling you, T-Ball's been telling you, right now we've had so much rain. It's hot. That mold, even if you don't know it's there, it can potentially spread extremely fast. So make sure AdvantageClean comes out because they can take care of it. It's hassle-free for you. Just make that call. They'll come out. They'll get rid of all that mold, and they'll make your house safe as it's supposed to be. Check them out online at AdvantageClean.com, AdvantageClean.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my four boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Introducing Vizzy Lemonade, the only lemonade hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. All new Vizzy Lemonade. Step up your seltzer game.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Coming up on a Tuesday edition of Early Line with Mario and Musso, we talk Heisman odds, look at some fantasy football storylines, and a whole lot more. Join us 2 to 3 p.m. for Early Line right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Look, if we went up to 55-50, I think the people would enjoy letting this breathe a little bit.
I'm putting this sweatshirt on backwards.
I'm just saying. This song immediately puts me in a good mood.
Hester loves this song.
If I'm having a bad day, or if things are a little stressful, this is the go-to.
Am I crazy, or does this sweater kind of look like high fashion backwards?
Kind of does. Kind of looks like you got like a scarf.
That's what I'm saying. Can I walk
neck
the runway
thing
right
on?
now?
You know how like now they have those shirts that have like the huge neck on them that are kind of baggy. That's what that looks like.
Citizens Bank and Trust. That's how they design it. Just put it on one day backwards. Citizens Bank and Trust poll question of the day: should the Saints trade Mike Thomas? Yes or no? Go to 145 ESPN. Check it out. Right now, though, it's time for a little Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Curve Light Vizzy, Hard Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Jake, who's your favorite NFL team growing up?
Favorite team was the Saints. Favorite player was Dan Marino.
Hashtag Ask the Bench. When do y'all think Bradford runs with the ones? I think both Dellinger and Bradford have a good chance to run with the ones. We shall see.
Dellinger inside, Bradford outside? Kind of the flip-floppity?
Maybe both inside. I don't know. I think they're both going to be cross-trained as both guard and tackle.
Martinez backup center.
Charles Turner's still the backup center.
He was back. Okay, so the day that I went, he was.
Okay. No, Marlon Martinez and Xavier Hill were back there on the left side.
Gotcha.
Next to each other. I like their improvement too, though. I know I haven't talked about a lot, but they looked better. Hashtag Ask the Bench. What profession would you be in outside of sports if you had to pick? Meaning it has nothing to do with sports at all. Maybe like some sort of finance job or something. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
So boring.
I don't know. It would be very boring. But I always kind of had an affinity for math a little bit. So
I didn't know. I love math. That's one of my minors in college, but still, that doesn't sound like as fun as what we get to do every day. I really enjoy being in the restaurant business, so maybe something with that.
There you go.
Even worse.
Yeah, that would be horrible. That's like the ultimate grind, right?
No, not like running it, just owning a couple of them.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag Ask the Bench. What defenses could you see giving Max Johnson problems? The good ones. Hashtag, right? The ones that have the most talent.
Ones that would get pressure from the interior to get him off of his spot a little bit sooner. Because I think his pocket presence is something that's really undervalued.
Ask the Bench, favorite fried vegetable. Is a pickle a vegetable?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, really?
I'm going to go
pickle.
I like fried zucchini. It's really good.
Broccoli.
Fried broccoli, huh?
Oh, that sounds good.
It does sound good. Hashtag Ask the Bench. What's the most expensive restaurant you ever took your kids to? I don't know that my kids have gone to any expensive restaurants.
Ruth's Chris, probably.
Okay. Yeah, that would count. That would blend.
I'm sure a lot of people have done that before.
Hashtag has to bench. That's a little tougher. Are you a cheap date? And if so, where would you go for a cheap date? I took my wife to Great Wall, the Chinese buffet, when it was still open here one time. It was a very sad date. I'd probably never do it again.
I'm sure I've taken Katie to Mr. Gaddy's before.
Let's see. We got 30 seconds.
Go Applebee's.
Bill Baggins want to come get drunk at my wedding and eat everything? Sure, dude. Right on. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. When's the last time you watched a DVD or Blu-ray?
In the car all the time with the kiddos.
I still watch VHS.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go. Nice. I like that, Danny.
Hipster.
Let's go.
Dude. That's classic hipster, Danny. See you tomorrow. Flynn, maybe?
OTB, OT.